stopper. The Brewers are 8-3 in his starts and have won 7 of his last 8 starts. Got to keep the fastball down. This Rockies club have been hitting a lot of home runs, up amongst league leaders in home runs. And in 4 starts this year, Yovani Gallardo has not given up a run, and he's done that in 2 of his last 3 starts.
Yovani, a tough customer as well during daytime games. This is not a typical day game in Milwaukee in that you don't see the harsh shadows because it is cloudy outside and still a little cool and the roof is closed. Gonzalez starts it and Gallardo is in there with a strike. Normally a day game here at Miller Park, especially if the sun is out, you see the cascading shadows, and hitters will tell you it is one tough place to hit in the daytime. Gallardo has the best earned run average in Major League Baseball in afternoon games. His earned run average in day games is 0.33.
Amazing, isn't it? I mean, overall a 2.84 earned run average, a 6-2 record, opponent batting average at under 200. What else can you say about what this guy's been doing? Tremendous.
See the numbers between day games and night games. Any game that starts before 5 o'clock local time is considered a day game. Numbers that jump off the charts at you. 1-2 the count. Gonzalez takes a big cut. A little bit of a change in Tracy's order this afternoon. Dexter Fowler has been leading off. Talented rookie, but Fowler 0 for 5 yesterday with 3 strikeouts. Tracy feeling like this is as good of a day as any to give him a break and get Gonzalez another chance to start.
Now you got Chris Iannetta out of the lineup. You give the backup catcher Paul Phillips an opportunity. Spielborg's in the lineup, so one less left-handed batter for Yovani Gallardo to have to deal with today. Just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what Jim Tracy throws out there. They continue to score runs.
That's when managing is fun, isn't it? When your team is winning and every decision you make seems to come up roses. And the Rockies are certainly coming up roses here lately. They lost their first 3 games of this long 11-game road trip in Houston. They have not lost since. They've won 7 in a row. Full count to Gonzalez.
And as we talked about, it's not just offense. I mean, the starting pitching has been very good. The starters for the Rockies have won all 7 of these games in this stretch. Bullpen has been good. They're just hot overall.
That one's lined into left. Ryan Braun coming in. He's got it for the out. Tough at bat for Carlos Gonzalez. He hung in there nicely. Gallardo finally retires him. Check this defense out for the Brewers. A lot of new faces in there tonight with Braun, Garrett, and Catalanato in the outfield. Gamble, Counsell, McGee, and Fielder around the horn with Jason Kendall catching Yovani Gallardo. 3 players for the Brewers in the starting lineup who were not with the ball club on opening day. And a slew of left-handed batters in there for Ken Maka today against Aaron Cook.
Man, one of the only things that a manager can do if his team's not scoring runs, not swinging the bats well, you shake it up a little bit. Why not? Give some struggling hitters a day off. Maybe it'll help. Bench coach Mike Cameron today.
That's right.
Got the lineup card.
And not giving it up either.
Not giving it up until he gets back in the game. That's probably what he's talking about. I don't need a day off.
I just had a day off.
I'm fine.
Well, Barmas chases a breaking ball. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that's the thing you love about this Brewer club. I mean, you got Jason Kendall, you've got Mike Cameron, who do a lot of squawking when they're not in the lineup. That's what you like. You hate to have a bunch of guys that love having days off.
One ball, 2 strikes on Clint Barmas, who has been among the hottest of this hot Rockies ball club. Barmas has settled into that 2-hole. Never really hit second in his career until Jim Tracy took over for Clint Hurdle. Rockies manager was fired just a few weeks ago. Tracy took over on an interim basis, and this club has gotten hot. And one of the big moves he made was putting Barmes in that 2 spot.
And the 2 spot in front of Todd Helton, ordinarily a very good spot to be. You're going to get strikes. You're going to get a lot of fastballs, and Barmes has made the most of it. Helton's been swinging the bat well all season, as has Brad Haupt. But now they're getting a lot of help.
Rockies are 9-4 since Tracy took over. And Barmes pounds one out to Counsell. 2 gone here in the first inning. Firestone leaderboard up above. Opponent's batting average in the National League, and Giovanni is at the top of the list. Not giving up many hits at all. Opponent's batting just 191 against Giovanni Gallardo. It's interesting that his worst major league start of his career came against the Rockies in Colorado 2 years ago. During the 07 season, Gallardo, in 2 2/3 innings in Colorado, gave up 11 earned runs on 12 hits. And still remembers it. He'd like to forget it, but to date, that is his worst outing. He's had 2 bad outings this year, as Helton delivers with a base hit.
Yeah, one of them right here against Cincinnati. It wasn't a bad outing, it was a bad inning. Gave up 6 runs one inning with 2 outs and nobody on, and had a rough outing at Houston. 6 earnings in 5 innings. Fastball out over the plate. Jody Garrett does the right thing, plays it safe. Give up the single with 2 outs and nobody on. You want to try and make a shoestring catch and allow Helton to get to second base.
So a base runner for the Rockies here in the first, and it's Brad Haupt, dangerous hitter at the plate. Haupt checks in with a .339 batting average, has 9 homers, 45 runs batted in, and he has hurt the Brewers in this series. Last night had 2 hits, including a home run, drove in a pair, and was on base his last 3 times up.
And he's hitting everything. He's been hitting split-fingered fastballs, curveballs, fastballs. There's really no one way to pitch this guy right now. Hitting the ball to the opposite field, pulling it with authority.
Haupt in the top 5 in the National League in batting average, RBIs, and slugging percentage to start the day. .339 hitter is 4th. Tejada still sets the pace in the National League. And then a couple of Mets are in there. David Wright and Carlos Beltran having big seasons for New York. On the ground to McGee. And Gallardo off to a good start. A scoreless first. Now the Brewers coming up with all of their lefties against Aaron Cook. Up against right-hander Aaron Cook, the opening day starter for the Colorado Rockies, and Ken Maka has loaded his lineup with left-handed bats. 5 lefties in the starting 9 for the Brew Crew. Lineup brought to you by Subway. It's Council at the top with Catalinato, then Braun. Middle of the order is Fielder, Gamble, and McGee. And the bottom 3, Garrett, Kendall, and Gallardo. Against the Rockies ace, Aaron Cook.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report. Heavy sinker, gets a lot of ground ball outs, and because of that sinker, did not give up a home run in the month of May in 5 starts. That's incredible. And he's only walked 2 batters in his last 2 starts. So the Brewers today have to think about getting Cook up in the strike zone early. He's going to throw a lot of strikes.
Cook coming off a win his last time out against the Cardinals. That was on Saturday when he went 8 innings and just 1 earned run. 15 ground ball outs against St. Louis at Busch Stadium last Saturday. And he needed only 104 pitches to get through those 8 innings. He's part of this run of Colorado pitching where their starting pitchers have won 7 consecutive games.
Yeah, Cook, a guy that's going to pitch to contact. He's not going to strike out too many. Only 32 strikeouts in 70 innings. A lot of ground ball outs, and when you do that, you get outs early in the count. Your pitch count's pretty manageable as you get through the game.
Council, and Barmes can't come up with it. He bobbled it, he kicked it, and Council is safe. And a base runner to start it offensively for Milwaukee.
Now, defense for the Rockies has been very good in this series so far, but that will be an error. Easy backhand pickup off the heel of the glove. Bobbled it, kicked it, and Craig Council, leadoff base runner.
First error in this series for either team, as a matter of fact. Rockies now with 36 errors on the season. Brewers have 32 by way of comparison. This is game number 60. Both of the clubs about middle of the pack for defense.
One of the first error committed by the Rockies, but some shoddy outfield play last night.
Yeah, some plays the Brewers that should have been made.
Yeah, get some base runners. Weren't able to capitalize.
Frank Catalinato gets the start in right field today. Ken Maka said last night he wanted to get some guys, not just a day off. It's not that you need a day off because the Brewers just had a day off on Monday, but he wanted to get some guys out of the lineup into the dugout during a game so they can watch the game, experience the game, and maybe find something else. Sometimes when you're in the wheel, it's hard to make adjustments and see things clearly, and Maka is giving J.J. Hardy and Corey Hart that opportunity to sit today.
It's one thing to have a team day off. You don't even show up to the ballpark, but I don't think those help as much as getting a day off and your team's out there playing. As much as you want to be out there every day, sometimes it really pays off just to sit back, watch what's going on.
Cook's got a chance to turn 2 here. Bobbled a little by Tulowitzki, but the arm strength to get the double play. 1-6-3 on the double play ball.
J.J. Hart had said it best when he got those couple of days off. He got a chance to let everything slow down for him a little bit. And that's what I think some of these Brewer hitters need to do. A bit of the yips for the middle of this infield for the Colorado Rockies, but it hasn't cost them yet. Double play ball. Aaron Cook gets a lot of those.
I think that scene that we saw with Ken Maka and Mike Cameron just a moment ago, those two sitting at the rail, standing at the rail, talking it out, just, conversing. I think that's exactly what Maka is trying to accomplish today. You want players to start thinking like a manager, and there's plenty of energy wrapped up in those players, and you sit around, you have a chance to soak it all in. And the Brewers aren't scoring a lot of runs, so why not try to shake it up a little bit? The one constants are Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder back in the lineup today.
Yeah, those two have been swinging the bats pretty well in this series.
Braun had a hit last night. He drove in a run, had an RBI double, a stolen base, and a run scored in a 1-for-2 night. He's on base 3 times. Slow roller out to Stewart. And Braun is safe. Plenty of speed to beat that one out. Stewart made a nice play, but unable to get Braun, who reaches on an infield hit.
Ian Stewart's been pretty impressive over there at third base. He's made a lot of nice plays. A bare hand pickup. This is do or die. Able to get it in the bare hand and all in the same motion get it off the first base. Had something on it, but Brawny sniffing the base hit, able to beat it. Always seems you're able to find that extra speed, that extra gear when you think a base hit's coming.
Now Braun has great speed as it is, and legs out a few infield hits per season. That's one of the reasons why most feel Braun has a chance to win a batting title one day. He can also hit the long ball, as our Powerball home run board indicates. Braun with 12 homers. He and Cameron tied for second on the ball club. Fielder sets the pace with 15. Fielder with 55 runs batted in. He and Raul Ibanez have been going back and forth for the National League lead in RBIs here the last few days.
Yeah, Prince Fielder recipient of some shoddy outfield play yesterday. His RBI double was a ball that Fowler in center got a glove on, not able to hold it, and then a bloop double in the left center where either Fowler or Gonzalez should have had. But Prince will take it.
2 hits. Better believe it. 2 hits and an RBI yesterday for Fielder. Fielder and Ibanez both with 55 RBIs to start the day. Cardinals are in Florida. That game is near the end, actually. The Marlins lead 5-3 in the 8th inning. Meanwhile, the Phillies in action against the Mets later tonight. So you've got Fielder, Ibanez, and Pujols in the top 3 spots. Pujols with 51 runs batted in. Braun takes off. Fielder pulls one foul. Ryan's been running a little more here the last few games. He did steal the base last night.
I'm not sure about the throwing arm of Paul Phillips. Iannetta throws very well. He caught the first 2 games, but ordinarily when you have a sinker baller like Aaron Cook, he's pretty quick to home plate. Ryan would not have a huge lead, but a good jump, and would have been close at second base.
Braun has 4 stolen bases. Might have had that one stolen without the foul ball. 1-2 to Prince. A lot of games underway today in the big leagues. Braves and the Pirates are underway. They're tied at 1 in the 5th. Cubs and the Astros have started. Astros put a run on the board early. 1-0 Houston in the 2nd inning. And then the White Sox and the Tigers, an afternoon game as well. They are delayed in Chicago. How about Verlander last night for the Detroit Tigers? A complete game. Brewers are going to get Verlander in his next time through, and they play Detroit next week.
Remember last time that happened?
Verlander threw a no-hitter in Detroit 2 years ago. I remember the no-hitter against the Brewers by Verlander, and then Milwaukee, after that no-hitter, just caught fire and went through a significant stretch of about a month where they were the best team in the league. Fielder strikes out. Cook pulled the string on him, and the inning ends. Brewers get a hit. Rockies committed error, but no damage done. And we head to the 2nd at Miller Park. Afternoon baseball at Miller Park. Yeah, that's why it smells so good in this ballpark. That's one of the, the favorite things to do. You walk in here, the smells of the ballpark with the popcorn and the brats, the cotton candy. Good crowd on hand this afternoon. Final game of the series with Colorado, and then expecting huge crowds, sellout crowds for the weekend series with the Chicago White Sox coming up. Rockies go home after this game. They'll have the Seattle Mariners in interleague play in their own ballpark. Colorado took 2 out of 3 from Detroit in their first round of interleague, while the Brewers lost 3 straight at the hands of the Minnesota Twins. I'd like to see the Brewers dial it up a little bit in interleague play this year. Off to a shaky start. Ryan Spilborghs leads the way for Colorado. Got a lot of friends here at the ballpark. Spilborghs, as you saw in our Brewers Live pregame show, spent some time in Madison, the Northwoods League, and still a fan favorite up there. The Madison Mallards.
Yep, once a Mallard, always a Mallard.
Better believe that.
You betcha. Northwoods League, a great college league.
Spilborghs making his first start of this series, and he draws a walk. So Gallardo issuing his first walk of the game. Take you back to Gallardo's last time out against the Atlanta Braves. 8 shutout innings against Atlanta last Friday night.
Really had good command of his fastball. Only gave up 2 hits. He walked 4 and seemed like he was in command the whole night. Only needed 110 pitches to get through 8 innings. I mean, what a start for Gallardo. That's something that you come to expect from him.
Gallardo combined with Villanueva for the 2-hit shutout. 5th shutout of the year for the Brewers. Matter of fact, that was the first of back-to-back shutouts for Milwaukee in Atlanta.
It's amazing the command of the fastball that Gallardo has had in recent starts, particularly his last 3. Everything down, everything on the corners, hasn't been getting too much of the plate with it. His curveball, from time to time, he struggles with, at least early, but Jason continues to force him to throw it. And after a few innings, it becomes a very good pitch for him. That slider, the changeup, 4 pitches that he's willing to throw at any time to any hitter. That's what makes him so good.
Hides the fastball well. Hitters say they don't pick it up right away. Gallardo really protects the baseball. Hitters are always searching for that release point. Ted Williams used to say he'd focus on the pitcher's logo on his cap and then slide his eyes over to find the baseball. And that's the challenge against Gallardo, who puts up strikeout numbers that would indicate a upper 90s fastball, but that's not the case.
And that's why sometimes a guy with a very peculiar release point can be effective, because hitters aren't used to, picking the ball up out of their hand at a different location, normally over by the pitcher's ear. Most people think that you follow that ball around behind his back all the way through the release point. You don't do that. You can't do that. That's a lot for the eyes to focus on. Just pick out a spot and you look for it. When the pitcher hides it well, it makes it more difficult.
I was talking to Don Sutton in Atlanta, now a radio broadcaster in Atlanta, and what he noticed about Gallardo, something we've talked about with the glove out in front of the body, but where the glove goes, the arm follows. They used to teach that in the Dodgers organization. You think about guys like Sutton and Koufax, Drysdale, Claude Osteen, all those guys led with the glove.
Sutcliffe. Hide that ball, kind of wrap the ball down around by their back and making it very difficult to see the baseball. That's what pitchers do. That they call it sneaky fast. They don't have the velocity. But Gallardo not overpowering with the velocity, but it appears to be.
And right before he releases the baseball, he flashes that glove in front of him. Runner takes off, and a big hack by Stewart. Second time Spilborghs has been on the move during this at-bat. Another facet of Jim Tracy's game as a manager of this Colorado ball club that he has tried to implement right away. This is a more aggressive team. A lot more hit and runs and straight steal attempts.
Rockies 5th in the league in stolen bases. I can't remember a year when the Colorado Rockies stole a lot of bases, but they are now.
Full count, nobody out. Stewart at the plate. Spilborg's off again, and that one's high, ball 4. Gallardo has walked 2 to start this second inning. Well, don't forget, coming up Saturday, your Brewers will be on Fox as Ryan Braun leads the crew. They try to keep pace in the Central when they host the White Sox. Interleague showdown here at Miller Park. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week at 3 o'clock Central Time, all the way on Fox. We'll have the game for you tomorrow, the opener on Fox Sports Wisconsin on the cable package, and then Fox Sports Wisconsin has the game Sunday. First of back-to-back weekends on network television for the Brewers, as a matter of fact. Saturday against the White Sox, and then next Saturday in Detroit. Tulowitzki with 2 men on. Back-to-back walks to start this second inning. And Gallardo into a little bit of trouble here in the second. A shot, and that's a base hit. Little soft liner that finds the grass in left field, just out of the reach of Craig Counsell. And Colorado has the bases loaded against Gallardo with nobody out here in the second.
And his slider has stayed up in the strike zone. Giovanni trying to get Tulowitzki to pull it. He did pull it, but he got it up. He was looking for the ground ball. And now bases loaded with nobody out.
And when you're going well, hits like that fall.
Well, you get that pitch down about 6 inches, it might be a ground ball double play. The fact that it's up in his zone, able to punch it out of the reach of the infield.
There's a little chopper. Gallardo coming to the plate. Kendall unable to get a throw off. The Brewers do get a lead out at home plate as Phillips reaches on a fielder's choice on a swinging bunt. And the putout goes 1-2. Bases still loaded, but 1 out.
Now the Brewers look like they may have a way out of this inning. You got Aaron Cook at the plate. Off-speed pitch and a little bit of a errant throw by Gallardo eliminated any possibility of the double play.
Rockies pitcher Aaron Cook now has 4 hits this year. He's 4 for 24 at the plate, a 167 batting average.
Joe's got to get the ball down, maybe get that double play ball here.
Well, you know he's a ground ball pitcher. The Brewers are hoping he's a ground ball hitter as well.
He's starting him off with breaking pitches. How about that? There's showing some respect for the opposing pitcher.
Cook does have a couple of RBIs this season. And a big cut at that one. As you can tell, he does handle the bat well. He takes a big cut. Pretty athletic pitcher.
And they're trying to clear the bases with that swing. Little back legger.
Well, now Gallardo, 3 balls and a strike on the pitcher. And going to be forced to groove one here against Aaron Cook. So a big pitch early. Bases loaded. 1 out. And Giovanni gets the ground ball. McGee cannot make the play, and a run will score. Boy, that second hop ate him up. And it's a costly error. A run scores, everybody's safe.
Now, it wouldn't have been a double play anyway, but certainly you got to get 1 on that. Good pitch by Gallardo. Surprising that Aaron Cook's swinging on a 3-1 count. He got the ground ball. It was a high chopper. But that second bounce with that top spin ate up Casey McGee. You see the way it picked up speed a little bit. They would have been able to get an out at second, but the run would have scored.
So Cook gets credit for the run batted in, reaches on the air. And it's 1-0 Colorado, back to the top of the order. Carlos Gonzalez still just one away. Tough guy to double up here. Gonzalez has great speed. And because of that, the Brewers bring their corner infielders slightly in, especially over third with Gamble. This is a spot where you need a strikeout.
And what we've seen from Gonzalez so far, pretty good low ball hitter. Got a good eye at the plate. He walked 3 times yesterday. But dangerous to elevate the fastball in these situations. You want to keep the ball down, get a grounder.
Career high for walks in a major league game for Gonzalez yesterday. Back with a fastball, and Gallardo keeps it at 0-2. Bases loaded for Colorado. A runner's in. 2 walks, a hit, and an error in this inning. Some stressful pitches here for Gallardo early.
And we mentioned only 110 pitches through 8 innings. He's already got 44. Ooh.
Two and two. Jay Gonzalez has been impressive. He put up big numbers in AAA to earn his promotion to the big leagues. And Jim Tracy has gone on record to say he wants to give him about 5 starts a week. Give him a chance to see what he can do, and he has taken advantage of it.
Yeah, he creates a lot of problems for you when he gets on base. Every time he seems to be on base, he's trying to steal. Got good speed, has good instincts on the bases, and gets a very good jump when he's trying to steal.
Barmas would be next. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Gonzalez. And down he goes. Big breaking ball from Gallardo, and a big strikeout early.
Yep, right on the outside corner, and Gonzalez thought it was away. Tom Halley, the home plate umpire, liked it. I think the Brewers might have got a break on that pitch. That pitch looked like it was about 4 inches off the edge.
Well, with some high intensity pitches early, Jason Kendall out to give Gallardo a bit of a breather here before he faces Barmas. You never know when a turning point occurs in a ball game, and it could be here in the second inning for Milwaukee.
That last pitch might have been it.
See what he can do with Barmas, who was red hot in the month of June. Has 10 RBIs this month, has 18 hits in the month on June 11th.
And he's been handling the breaking pitches very well. Every time it seems like the Brewers hang a breaking ball, he's hammering it somewhere into the outfield.
Chased one. 0-2. That good curveball again from Gallardo. And now Giovanni in a spot to get out of this inning with just the 1 run allowed. Pitch number 50 coming for Gallardo. We play in the second inning. Got him. How about that? Giovanni Gallardo with back-to-back strikeouts. The Rockies made it work, but only 1 run scores.
second inning. Now, the Brewers will come up to bat here, and if they're able to get one guy on, we will see Jason Kendall, who is due a fourth this inning, and that's a great guy to have in the lineup after not being in the lineup last night. He had 2 hits against the Rockies on Tuesday, going 2 for 3, but in his career, he has a .357 average against Colorado. And I got a chance to ask Jason, why does he have so much success against the Rockies? He said he really can't explain it, but if he continues to have success, there's no need for an explanation if he can continue it today, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks. Yeah, you'd love to get Kendall a shot here in this second inning. Bunch of lefties coming up for the Brewers, with Gamble leading off. Be followed by McGee, then Jody Garrett. And if anybody gets on, Kendall. Bottom of the second, 1-0. Gamble lines one deep center field. Back is Gonzalez, and he runs it down. What a play by Gonzalez.
Well, he got a great break on that baseball. Didn't play a very good left field in yesterday's ball game. Let a couple of balls drop in front of him. But had a very good first move, angling back. He doesn't play very deep center field. His ability to go back allows him to play shallow, and made that one look pretty easy.
Gonzalez is center fielder by trade, and showed you he's pretty comfortable in that role in the second inning. Nice play by Gonzalez. Gamble robbed of extra bases. Here's Casey McGee now.
Looks like he's still stewing over that called strike.
That could be a big turning point in this game. The Rockies with bases loaded, nobody out. They manage only 1 run. Came in on an error by Casey McGee. Will be an earned run charged to Gallardo, however. 2 walks, a hit, and an error, but Gallardo strikes out Gonzalez and Barmas to end the threat. McGee gets under 1. 2 away.
For just $36, get one Lowe's infield ticket to one of 8 select Brewers games and a $25 Potawatomi Bingo Casino Restaurant gift card. You have to be 21 or older to dine in the restaurants. For details, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/Potawatomi.
Well, maybe the Brewers have the Rockies right where they want them. Milwaukee has taken the early leads in both of these games of this series and come up on the wrong end. So maybe who jumps out early first is not the team that wins the game.
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday night had 2-0 leads early. It didn't hold up.
As a matter of fact, the Brewers have lost 6 of their last 9, and in all 6 of those losses, they had the lead at one point. Jody Garrett getting the start in right field today. A little bouncer out to Tulowitzki. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Aaron Cook. On our way to the third at Miller Park. Sports Wisconsin is presented by Blaine Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local Farm and Fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. Miller Park, Milwaukee, and we head to the Colorado third inning. And we're pleased to be joined by Michael Milken, the founder and chairman of the Prostate Cancer Foundation. The Home Run Challenge coming up. And Michael, welcome to the booth. Welcome to Milwaukee. It's a great cause centered around Father's Day every year. A great opportunity to raise some money and some awareness.
It sure is. It runs from June 11th, which is today, to Father's Day, June 21st. We travel around the country, get to see a bunch of ball games, but more important, it increases the awareness for prostate cancer, and we raise money for every home run hit. So we went out there and visited with the Brewers early. We were on the field at 11, making sure they have a home run stroke today.
Yeah, well, we could use some home runs right about now. So today is not a home run challenge game, but we will get started with that. The Brewers will, their selected games, and can help raise some money. 2009 Home Run Challenge for prostate cancer research. And there's the number to donate, 1-800-798-CURE, or you can log on to the web at pcf.org. And we'll be talking with Michael here throughout this inning and to help promote this great cause. Certainly something that the Brewers are well affiliated with. Rock, I know you participated in the screening last year.
Yeah. Well, Major League Baseball, the Brewers, Fox have all been great supporters over the last 14 years.
That's how long this has been going on, 14 years. That was one of my next questions. I mean, I know it's been going on a long time. I mean, Tommy Lasorda's still involved?
He sure is, and we had a nice visit with Mark Antanasio, your other owners in L.A. I was hoping to bring them back today, but they'll be here in town real soon.
You know, Tommy Lasorda is a very easy interview. You ask him one question, you can go 2 innings.
Well, I've been traveling with him for 14 years now in this Home Run Challenge, and there's no better ambassador for baseball.
Well, you got quite a roster of former great names. I know Robin Ventura is involved this year. Who else is on your roster?
Dennis Eckersley has traveled with us. Reggie Jackson has traveled with us. Terry Steinbeck has traveled with us. And, you know, with 1 in 6 men going to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, it really gives us a good chance to put forth the concept of keep dad in the game.
How much money have you raised on average throughout the 14 years?
We've raised about $30 million around Major League Baseball, and then with matching grants and government funding and other things, we've leveraged that about 25 to 1. So the $30 million has turned into $750 million.
Oh, that's awesome.
Michael Milken joins us here in the third inning. The Rockies at bat with Todd Helton leading off.
And a lot of that money's been spent right here in the state of Wisconsin, particularly the University of Wisconsin, which has one of the leading centers, Dennis Wilding, who runs it. The cancer center there has just been fantastic and been active over the last 14 years in this program also.
Well, if you don't know Michael, and he's been instrumental in a great deal of projects, medical advancements, and a long career of philanthropy. And I know this is one that not only are you connected to with this program, but you also went through yourself.
Well, you know, it's amazing. I was diagnosed in '93, and I knew a lot about almost every other cancer except prostate cancer. There was little to no awareness. They gave me 12 to 18 months to live, so I'm the happiest guy in the ballpark here today.
That was 93, huh?
93. What a beautiful ballpark. Just a fantastic ballpark to come to.
Now, should men get tested yearly? Is that what the recommendation is?
I think if you're 50 years old, you need to be tested. And if you're African American, unfortunately, they have substantially higher incidence of prostate cancer, probably at 40. And if you have any family member, a cousin, an uncle, a grandfather, a brother, you should really be tested starting at 40. Mine, I had absolutely no symptoms, and I actually had to convince the doctor to give me a simple PSA test. It's just a simple blood test. And he told me I was too young, and it's lucky I took that test, or I definitely wouldn't be with you today. That's for sure.
What are some of the symptoms if you might have a problem?
Well, most of the activity is now caught early because of blood tests and other early diagnosis. But no one has ever died from prostate cancer in the prostate. It goes from your prostate, then to your lymph nodes, and then to your bones. So a symptom would be bone pain from that standpoint. We've done a lot of work on nutrition, and being in the center of nutrition here in Milwaukee, we have discovered that there's a number of things. Now, I'd like to tell you that it's, bockwurst that is the key, but, cooked tomatoes, broccoli, cauliflower, a number of these things really are active ingredients and looks like slowing the growth of prostate cancer.
All those items go very well with a nice broth.
They sure do.
Cauliflower,
they sure
you betcha.
Well, particularly, you can have a side of those.
Right.
But it has been amazing over these 14 years going to ball games.
2 gone for Giovanni Gallardo. Continue.
A couple years ago, we set the Guinness Book of Records. We saw all 30 teams play in 17 days.
Wow.
So you got to get your schedule down. And sometimes if you're in really good shape, you can see a triple header. But mostly we just get double headers. But I think if you go to that website, PCF, which stands for the Prostate Cancer Foundation.org, there's a lot of information on that site. Not just about the home run challenge, but about nutrition and other things you can do and the leading programs around the country.
Is that how the average person out there watching can donate to the cause?
They can. You can pledge money for every home run hit during these 60 games. We average about 130. So if you pledged $1, it'd be $134. Right now, we're up from 10,000. We're about 12,000 a home run, and we hope that will reach 25,000 a home run, and you can pledge as little as $1, as much as $1,000.
Well, Gallardo finishes with a strikeout. Michael, continued success. We're happy to be associated with it. Good luck to you.
Good to see you, and all we want is the Brewers to hit some home runs here today.
No question. That's what we want.
So do we.
Yes, sir. Michael Milken, the Aaron Cook ready to work as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jason Kendall leads off. He'll be followed by Gallardo, and then back to the top. The Rockies lead 1-0. Let an opportunity go by perhaps in the second, however, as Colorado had bases loaded, nobody out, just managed 1 run. There was an error committed in that inning as well. But Gallardo with strikeouts against Gonzalez and Barmes to end the inning. Giovanni picking up 2 more strikeouts in the top of this frame. So 4 punch outs for Gallardo to go along with his 2 walks. And getting ready to do what he loves to do the most, and that's swing the bat. Kendall, a little flare to right. Hawpe is well positioned to make the play. 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Time now for our U.S. Cellular text to vote question of the day. Is Todd Helton a first ballot Hall of Famer? W for yes, X for no. Text your answer to WX, short code 234234.
That's a good question. He's a career 300 hitter. I mean, well into the 300s. Coming into this year, 328 career batting average, including this year 2,020 hits, over 1,100 RBIs, and over 300 homers.
Gallardo fouls one away.
I would imagine that gets him in, wouldn't you think?
It gets him in. You know, the first ballot Hall of Famer, that might be a bit of a stretch, but I don't know. The numbers are up there. 328 career hitter, has over 300 career home runs. What's interesting about Helton, you talk about Helton and the Hall of Fame, and he'll hear nothing of that, because now that he's healthy after successful back surgery this offseason, he feels like he's got a lot of baseball in him still.
Yeah.
So who knows where his numbers will be. He's 35 years of age this year.
Yeah, retirement not in the thought process for Todd Helton.
A complete player. Not only does he hits for average, has good power. There was a stretch there where Helton consistently with 30-plus home runs a year. He did that for 7 straight seasons. And he won a batting title back in 2000. 2 up and 2 down for Cook as he picks up his second strikeout of the game.
That is a nasty pitch. That pitch going down as it gets to the strike zone, and Giovanni with a big swing comes up empty. Yeah, back in the year 2000, Todd Helton led the National League in RBIs with 147. The following year, 146 RBIs. 5 straight years of more than 100 RBIs.
I think the one knock against Todd Helton is the same knock that was against all of those great sluggers, the Blake Street Bombers, pre-Humidor days. You know, the ball really flies there in Colorado. But you can only produce wherever you play, right? That's where he played his games.
Yeah, not his fault that he played in a home run hitter and base hit friendly ballpark. It had no effect on his defense, though. He's one of the best defensive first basemen that there has been in a long time.
3 Gold Gloves at first base for Helton. His last Gold Glove came in 2004, which was his last All-Star season as well. Tough to break through in an All-Star appearance with the first baseman in this league. Guys like Prince Fielder and Pujols and Adrian Gonzalez in San Diego's having a terrific year this year. By the way, just to follow up our visit with Michael Milken, the founder and chairman of the Prostate Cancer Foundation, the first home run challenge game for the Brewers will be this coming Saturday. A game that's on Big Fox. Brewers and the White Sox. Full count to a former Rocky, Craig Counsell. Came up in the Rockies organization. Big bouncing ball to Tulowitzki. And in time, that great throwing arm able to get the out. 7 straight retired by Aaron Cook. Well, the booth question with the Rockies surging. Victoria from the 5-0 wants to know, can any team catch the Dodgers in the National League West? That is going to be a tough challenge, especially with Manny Ramirez set to return in less than a month.
Well, the surprising San Francisco Giants, the closest competition to the Dodgers in the West. 31-27 of the Giants, 7.5 games back. That's been a surprise, that team. We talked about the Texas Rangers yesterday being probably the biggest surprise in baseball, but the Giants, Pablo Sandoval, 10th in the National League in batting average, young third baseman, got those guys playing some pretty good baseball.
Well, the Giants have quality pitching for sure, up and down their starting rotation. They have a terrific closer as well. Colorado, despite winning 7 straight, they haven't been able to cut into that deficit much. They did pick up a game last night. The Dodgers lost Colorado 12 games out of first place to start the day. I think the big surprises in baseball, the Rangers, the Giants, and the Padres. That one's hit a ton. Ian Stewart way out of here to right. And the reigning National League Player of the Week stays hot, and the Rockies have a 2-0 lead. Boy, this team is clicking on all cylinders right now.
Well, their pitching has really been the story. Everybody gives them credit for their offense. They only scored 4 runs yesterday, won a ball game. 3 runs the night before. So as far as the offense has gone, I mean, the Brewer pitching staff's done a pretty good job. Problem is, Brewer's not able to get on the board. Tough to win ball games when not scoring runs.
That's home run number 12 for Stewart. Been on twice here today, and he scored both of the Rockies' runs. Gallardo falls behind Troy Tulowitzki. Giovanni had a quick inning in the third, 3 up, 3 down with a pair of strikeouts after a very long second inning, and an inning that will certainly mean a short afternoon for Gallardo. Can't imagine Giovanni getting too much past the 5th or the 6th. Labor intensive second inning. And this was the part of the order that did the damage. 2 walks, a hit, a fielder's choice, and an error. First 5 batters in the inning. In the second, all reach base. .75 pitches for Gallardo. 45 strikes, 30 balls at this point. It's one of the problems that Dave Bush had last night. Bush talking about his command. See the final there when Florida, the Cardinals come back to beat the Marlins today. So the Brewers need a win to keep pace, stay a game and a half ahead of St. Louis.
Yeah, the Marlins had a comfortable lead in that ball game late. I think they had a 5-1 lead at one point. Cardinals able to come back.
Yeah, Dave Bush commenting last night, Rock, that he walked 4 batters, but it felt like he had good command. Rockies put some good at-bats against Bush last night. He was at 80 pitches through 4 innings and went 5 innings, and we've seen it here today once again. That's the 3rd walk issued by Giovanni Gallardo. Quality at-bats going on for the Rockies. Aflac trivia. The last college pitcher the Brewers selected in the 1st round.
It's a good one.
Eric Arnett, taken from the University of Indiana. I thought it was interesting that Tom Crean had a little impact in the Brewers draft this year at IU. contacted Doug Melvin. Said, hey, this kid Arnett, he tried out for me on the basketball team. He's got, not only does he have skills, but he's got a little makeup about him.
Yeah.
Got some toughness and resolve. Now the goal is to get him signed, and according to reports and according to Doug Melvin, who came on the air with us yesterday, he said that Arnett is a guy who wants to sign. He's eager to sign. His agent is eager to get him signed. Drafting is only half the battle. Signing the player is the other part of the game.
Now, the good news is that Arnett was not on Doug Melvin's list of 50 that said they wouldn't sign except for if they got X amount.
Runner takes off, swing and a miss. Kendall's throw, he is on the money. Tulowitzki gunned down, a caught stealing.
A good throw by Jason Kendall, who the numbers don't show that he's been throwing the baseball pretty well. A lot of bang bang plays, they've been called safe. And Tulowitzki an easy out. Might have been a hit and run. But Jason's throw right on the money and an easy tag for Casey McGee at second base.
And now Phillips pops it up in the infield. 2 outs. That's the other part of the running game. Yes, you can be aggressive and it can force the action. You can put runners into scoring position and it can have an effect. But the other part of it is when you get thrown out, you've got a pitcher coming off a walk, and then you immediately, in 2 pitches, basically have 2 outs and bases empty, and the pitcher coming up. The running game giveth and taketh away, I guess.
That's why, some teams, the philosophy is if you're not successful 3 out of 4 times, why bother? It's not worth the risk. That's Ken Maka's philosophy. That's why the Brewers haven't been running all that much. It's one of those things. It's a fine lines you have to walk if you're a manager. Your team's not banging the home runs like they were a week or so ago. So what do? You got to try and do something to get some offense going. Maybe start some runners, put a hit and run on, open up some holes in that infield. Sometimes you're forced to run a little bit. And one of the things that Ken Maka has been concerned about is the number of double plays that his team's been hitting into, and one way to eliminate that is to maybe steal a base or 2.
Gallardo against Aaron Cook here with 2 outs. Cook with the first Rockies RBI, reached on an error but got credit for the run batted in. On a ball very similar to that. Tough play. Counsell ranging over, a nice play to get the out. And the side retired. A leadoff home run from Stewart. 2-0 Colorado as we head to the Brewer 4th.
With you, time now for our crew in the community, the Davy Nelson Celebrity Golf Outing, supporting the Open Arms Home for Children in South Africa and Brewer Charities, coming up on June 22nd out at Black Wolf Run. Tell us about the jam-packed fun day ahead, Davy.
Oh, it's going to be an awesome day with a lot of good celebrity players like yourself who have a 30 handicap. I don't know, buddy.
Why are you mentioning that?
Because it just goes to show you do not have to be embarrassed. Anybody that can swing a golf club, they're welcome to come out. It's going to be, we got a lot of good celebrities. It's going to start registration at 9:30. Shotgun start at 12 o'clock, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be, it benefits my orphanage in South Africa and the youth programs and the Brewers Charities. And Black Wolf Run, they're playing the River and Meadows course. It's going to be awesome, partner.
I may have to hide after the first hole somewhere, but we're looking forward to it.
Oh, yes, it's going to be fun, and I'm looking to get out there and swing the clubs with a lot of the people that are buying foursomes.
Back to two big golfers in BA and The Rock.
Craig, a 30 handicap dropped on him right there.
Wow. And there's nowhere to hide out on those courses.
Ooh, man.
Craig, you're going to be exposed, buddy.
30 handicap.
I have a good time, though. I tell you, Davy Nelson does a lot for the community. He also has a golf outing every winter down in St. Croix. Very good causes. I was able to get down there. I think that I have been blackballed from that outing. I was so bad down there. You know, the grass is a little bit different down there.
Yes, it
is.
is.
Get the feel for it.
Catalinato with a base hit to start the inning. A little agronomy lesson here by Bill Schroeder as we get started.
Could have been me.
Wasn't a Kentucky bluegrass, huh? With a hint of Sinsemilla?
I don't know. I was, yeah, I'm very rarely in the fairway anyway.
Yeah, the grass you were involved in was somebody's yard.
A foot high.
St. Augustine.
And a nice approach by Catalinato, taking that sinker to the opposite field. That's what you have to do. You can't try and pull this guy.
Catalinato with his first hit. The Brewers have their second hit of the game. The other was an infield hit by Ryan Braun, who can tie this one up with one swing of the bat here in the fourth inning. Cook does not give up a lot of home runs, if you're wondering. He got off to a shaky start this year. In the month of April, he allowed 7 home runs, which was shocking for anybody who knows the stuff of Aaron Cook. But he's only given up 2 home runs since the month of April.
He did not give up a home run in May. Has a 3.02 earned run average since May 1st. This guy's been one of the best.
Ryan Braun, an infield hit with 2 outs in the first inning. Brewers really haven't much to speak of in this game. They have not had a runner at second base yet. 2-0 Rockies. They got a run in the second, and Stewart's home run in the fourth. Back up the middle. Tulowitzki to second. Barmes to first, and a double play. Boy, nicely done right there. Tulowitzki showing terrific quickness and range to get to that baseball. And a 6-4-3 double play.
And a nice shovel pass by Tulowitzki over to Barmes, and an easy double play. That's what makes Aaron Cook such a tough customer. He gets those ground balls and a lot of double plays. The second of the day today. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. Colorado Rockies turning 2.
Tulowitzki putting that shovel pass right on the mark. Made it easy for Barmes. So 2 gone. Here's Fielder. Cook has only faced 1 over the minimum with those 2 double plays. By the way, Aaron Cook has set a franchise record for innings pitched. He's the new all-time franchise leader in career innings. He's up over 1,000 innings pitched in Rockies franchise history. And he's 1 win shy of matching the franchise record. Fielder into right center, got jammed a little bit. And the side retired. So a leadoff single wiped out with a double play. Still 2-0 Colorado. his dad celebrating their birthday today at the ballpark. Wants to make sure his brother doesn't get any airtime, though. I don't blame him.
Where's Dad?
Yeah.
Out getting some food.
2-0, the Rockies lead it. Carlos Gonzalez leads off, the Rocky leadoff hitter this afternoon. He'll be followed by Barmas and then Helton. Gallardo's pitch count is a factor right now. He is nearing the 90 pitch mark as we play in the 5th inning. They'll ask if he went, and palms down from Phil Cuzzy. Gonzalez able to check his swing. Giovanni had a long inning in the second, but just surrendered the 1 run, stranding the bases loaded in that frame. Ian Stewart homered in the 4th inning to lead off for the other Rockies run. So Stewart has scored both runs. Aaron Cook, the pitcher, with the other RBI. Big strikeout in that second inning of Gonzalez with the bases loaded and 1 out.
They got him on a backdoor curveball that looked like it might have been a little bit off the outside corner, but Tom Hallen rung him up. I would imagine not going to be taking that pitch again. Not with 2 strikes.
Now both of these starting pitchers today coming off 8-inning performances and wins in their last time out. Gallardo went 8 against the Atlanta Braves. Had an extra day off, however. And Aaron Cook, 8 innings and 1 run against the Cardinals. Cook has been very efficient today. Right off the chest protector of Tom Hallion.
He didn't flinch, though, did he? Didn't budge.
And it didn't even break his pen.
No.
Gonzalez chases one. And Gallardo with his 5th strikeout. 1 away in the 5th inning. Aflac trivia this afternoon. Who was the last college pitcher the Brewers selected in the 1st round?
I think it was Ben Sheets.
That would be a good guess. And the year was 1999, Northeast Louisiana. Sheets is still trying to make his way back. They figure he'll be back at some point. Had elbow surgery in the offseason. He's a free agent, so he could be a hot commodity if he proves that he's healthy. That would be some kind of late season pickup for anyone.
Yeah.
Looked like Sheets had a multi-year deal in place with the Texas Rangers prior to the season starting, before the elbow injury was found. Matter of fact, it was in the physical before signing the contract that the Rangers discovered that elbow injury. I would imagine Sheets would be getting a ton of phone calls.
Yeah. It's good that they have those physicals, because you knew Sheets was in bad shape toward the end of the season last year.
Well, Barmas strikes out. He gets a good whack at Jason Kendall on his follow through, but it's out number 2. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gallardo.
That good curveball down in the zone. He let go of the top hand and never really got a piece of him. Just knocked his mask off. That guy puts a hard day's work in, doesn't he? Jason Kendall getting his mask knocked off, balls bouncing in the dirt.
Saw a similar play last night in Florida. Albert Pujols on a follow through caught a piece of John Baker, and it was very similar to that, except he caught a little more of the corner of his helmet, and Baker had to leave the game in a laceration on the eye.
Yeah. The There's not much protection on the ear when you have a situation like that. You know, the bat comes through and knocks the side of that mask. Especially with those cupped bats. Those things have some sharp edges on them.
Yeah, the bats where they scoop out the end. See some catchers going with the new style hockey mask. And Mike Rivera wears that mask for protection on the side of his head. Kendall would probably catch without one if you'd let him. Helton draws the walk. He's on base for the second time. Speaking of first round picks, back to our Aflac trivia. Brett Laurie was the overall first pick for the Brewers last year. And Matt Laporta involved in the big trade with CC Sabathia a season ago. Jeffers took a step back. He is back in single A now in Brevard County. Still waiting for Jeffers to make his charge to the big leagues. Brewers have had a lot of success drafting first.
Yes, they have. David Krenzel was actually in the Rockies organization in spring training. I think he's still there.
Such a hit and miss situation in the draft, and for the Brewers to be able to send out not only big league players but big league stars, guys like Fielder and Weeks and Braun. Corey Hart was an all-star last year. J.J. Hardy an all-star in his career. That's why Jack Zarenzik gets a lot of the credit, and Jack Zarenzik is the first to send down the credit to Bruce Seid, who took over as the scouting director for the Brewers this year in his first draft in that seat.
I would imagine the first one as the head guy has got to be the toughest.
Nice pickup by Gamble. And a throw that's true. Good play, Matt Gamble, and the inning is over. Hawk is robbed of a base hit.
And today's timer of the game winner is Shifters Bar and Food in Lake Geneva. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, 902-4572, they get 40 tickets to a 2009 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well, Matt Gamble leads off. Made a terrific play to end the top of this frame. And Gamble up there trying to drop a bunt down. That was interesting.
There's something to get on base. The Brewers got to get something going. It's been a while for them since they've been on the board.
Well, the Brewers now 10 consecutive innings without a run and 18 of 21 without scoring a run. So it's been a long drought for Milwaukee, which means they're due, right? Down 2-0 to Aaron Cook, the Rockies ace, as we play in the home fifth.
Too good of an offensive club to be held down too long. I really can't say enough about this pitching staff for the Colorado Rockies. I mean, they've come in here and really thrown the baseball well. They really have. Starting rotation and the bullpen.
They've done everything well, the Rockies have. Pitched well, they've swung the bats, timely hits.
Stealing bases, that's something you're not used to seeing with the Rockies.
It's what happens when a ball club is going well, when they're hot, and you catch them at the wrong time. We saw Colorado a lot this spring. They train in Tucson and match up with the Brewers quite often in spring training, and they got off to such a slow start. We didn't see that coming. This is a ball club that looked like it was going to have a chance in the division. Gamble strikes out. Cook bores one on the inside corner.
He's got such good command both sides of the plate. Able to catch the inside corner on Gamble.
Well, the Milwaukee Brewers are excited to announce a new promotion, the Dollars for Dingers promo. For every home run the Brewers hit from June 15th to June 25th. That'll be a span of 9 games. Brewers fans receive $1 off a Loge outfield ticket. And those tickets available for the St. Louis series July 7th and July 8th. Tickets go on sale 9 a.m. Friday, June 26th.
Dollars for Dingers. I like it. It's got a catchy phrase to it.
That's a good way to get a rally started, I think. Casey McGee still looking for his first career Major League home run. Cook has faced just one over the minimum, thanks to a pair of double plays today. McGee into right field. That's pretty well hit. Back goes Hawk. Still going back. It's off the base of the wall. And McGee's going to challenge the arm of Hawk. And he's in there with a double. Casey McGee, an opposite field double with one away.
They got to take advantage when Aaron Cook makes a mistake up in his zone. He got that one up around the belt, and watch Casey McGee get on top of it, taking it to the opposite field. Good high ball hitter over the head of Brad Hopp. See that throw from Hopp? Played it off the wall very well and all the way on the fly into second base, but off the mark. That's a heck of a throwing arm.
Well, Hopp has a cannon. I was surprised McGee challenged him, but he took the chance and he's rewarded. Now the Brewers have a runner in scoring position for Jody Garrett. Garrett grounded out his last time up. It's been a struggle for him as a Brewer since the trade brought him from San Diego for Tony Gwynn. Another bouncer. And Barmas records out number 2. McGee advances to third, but Jody Garrett is 0 for 2. And it'll be up to Jason Kendall to try to produce with 2 away. Gallardo's spot the order is due up next. Coffey getting loose just in case. You might see him anyway. Gallardo's pitch count is nearing 100 at this point.
Yeah, 105 innings. Similar situation yesterday with Dave Bush. He had a high pitch count early. Maybe just a decoy out there. Put Gallardo on deck. Maybe force the Rockies to pitch to Kendall.
Two to nothing Rockies. Brewers with their best chance to score so far today. And Kendall is hit by a pitch. Kendall squared and was hit by a pitch. Interesting scene there with 2 outs.
Well, that pitch wasn't even close. Gets his mask knocked off, ball's in the dirt, and gets drilled. Not sure where it got him. And now the Brewers are going to go to the bench. Yovani Gallardo was a decoy out there on the on-deck circle. They're going to pull him back and put up Billy Hall.
So Gallardo is lifted After 5 innings, Billy Hall has put together some pretty good numbers against Aaron Cook in his career. It was interesting that he didn't get the start, but Hall, 5 hits and 9 at-bats against Aaron Cook, lifetime.
And that's why he's first off the bench.
That was just a strange play there. You know, Kendall with 2 outs squares to bunt. I think as a pitcher, sometimes your instincts are with a man at third and a guy squares to bunt, your instincts are to come up high and tight, you know, a possible squeeze situation. But
right.
There are 2 outs in this inning.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be a possibility. Maybe trying to drag bunt, get the guy in, but that ball right at Kendall. And now it's up to Billy Hall to drive in and run. Time to get the skunk out of the box for the Brewers. That skunk getting a little bit gnarly in there. It's been 10 innings.
Well, a big chance for Bill Hall. Maybe more than anybody else on this club could use a big hit for his confidence. Been making some changes with his swing, trying to do it in mid-season, which is not an easy thing to accomplish. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. And the best scoring opportunity of the day for Milwaukee. I was anxious to see if Hall would continue with his toe tap, which is the new feature in his batting stance, something he's trying to get as a timing mechanism. You know, in a big spot like this, you may go back to what you're used to, but Hall stuck with it.
Yeah, instincts take over when you're up at the plate.
Starts that toe tap early, right there. And he takes a ball. 2-1 the count on Hall.
The thing that makes it so difficult is you can't be thinking about anything but the baseball when you're up there at the plate. You know, you can think about your feet and where your hands are in BP and on the tee, but boy, when it's game situation, game on, I mean, it's all reaction and instinct.
2 balls and a strike to Hall. And he shoots one foul a little bit late on the fastball from Cook. Crowd trying to help him out. It has been an offensive battle for Billy most of the season. Pinch hitting early here today in the 5th inning. 2 on, 2 out. And Cook strikes him out. A slider from Cook. Hall down on strikes. The Brewers strand a pair. And it's still 2-0 Colorado as we head to the 6th inning. Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Major League Baseball and People magazine are recognizing individuals who have made a difference in their community. Go to peopleallstars.com and vote for your favorite everyday all-star who could represent your club and be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis, July 14th, televised only on Fox. Big crowd today on a Thursday afternoon. So far, not much to cheer about. However, 2-0, the Rockies have the lead. Todd Coffey is in relief for Giovanni Gallardo, who is on the hook for the loss, despite 5 innings and 6 strikeouts.
And when you look at the body of work for Gallardo this year, you look and say it was a rough outing for him, but still in all, he only gave up 2 runs. It was a struggle, the high pitch count, but the Brewers, you would figure on a normal day, would be in pretty good shape with only 2 runs allowed. Todd Coffey picked up a loss his last time out on Tuesday.
So Coffey working in the 6th inning. He'll face Spilborghs, Stewart, and Tulowitzki to start it. 5, 6, and 7 in this Colorado lineup. Spilborghs swings, unable to check it, according to the first base umpire Jerry Crawford. White Sox in town tomorrow night. Interleague Baseball returns to Milwaukee. And the Brewers hoping for a little bit different luck. In their second round in interleague play, they dropped all 3 games in Minnesota in round 1. Jeff Suppan pitches tomorrow. Left-hander Clayton Richard will start for the White Sox. There's a bouncer back up the middle, a base hit.
Well, sinker up in the strike zone. Spilborghs right back through the middle. And a leadoff base runner for the Rockies.
The Rock just looking out at the field here. Down to 3 umpires.
Yeah.
One of the umpires, I believe, Jerry Crawford, is out of this game. That is Dan Bellino. So Jerry Crawford, the crew chief, is no longer in this game. I didn't see him leave between innings, but he's out. Tom Hallion still behind the plate. Phil Cuzzi works the left side of the infield.
Well, maybe it's just a temporary situation. You never know. The umpires have plays just like the players do. I mean, with a 3-man crew now, every one of the umpires has a different responsibility, a little bit more to do. You have to be able to cover all the bases, the foul lines, but they're accustomed to it because it's a 3-man crew in spring training.
Well, Stewart ahead in the count. He scored both of the Rockies' runs this afternoon. Walked and scored in the second when Aaron Cook reached on an error. Cook was credited with an RBI. And then Stewart hit a second-level home run back in the 4th inning. His 12th of the year. Close play over at first. Spilborghs just back. This might be a spot where you see Spilborghs in motion with Stewart at the plate. Coffey, one of the rare pitchers in the game, and I'm not sure I can remember anybody who has done it, who checks on the runner at first over his right shoulder, not his left shoulder.
Yeah. That takes a little bit more of an effort to look over that back shoulder. One thing it will do for you, though, it'll keep that front shoulder closed when you go to home plate. Sometimes you look over that front shoulder, you open it up, and sometimes you might not close it up again before you throw the home plate.
Coffey takes one peek over his left shoulder, and then before he delivers the baseball, over his right. Three balls and a strike. Not a good count to be in with a red hot hitter in Ian Stewart. Everything this guy's swinging at has been a base hit lately. Player of the week in the National League last week. Stewart has a hit tonight. Had a hit in the opener. Popped him up. Good pitch. Ryan Braun settles under it. And one away in the sixth.
Goes to show you what a rough start that Stewart got off to. As many hits and how good he's been in the last week plus. Still only at 227 for a batting average.
That was after a week where he hit 480 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs to earn his first career Player of the Week honor. So one gone for Tulowitzki. He's been on twice here today, a single and a walk. Top of the order is due up for the Brewers in the sixth. Council, Catalanato, and Braun. Gallardo is out after 5 innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 runs. He walked 4 today and struck out 6. Cardinals have won today. They beat the Marlins 6-5. A late rally to do that. Cardinals were down 4-1 in that game. They scored 3 runs in the 8th inning and then hung on to win. Ryan Franklin picked up his 14th save. Division tightened up significantly yesterday. Cardinals won. Cincinnati won in extra innings against Washington last night.
Yeah, pretty good chance it's going to stay that way throughout most of the summer. You don't expect any one team to run away with this division this year. It's too good top to bottom.
The tightest division in all of baseball. 4 teams separated by 2.5 games. All 4 of those teams over 500. Still the only division in baseball that has 4 teams over 500.
Spielborg's leaning that time. Got 6 stolen bases, but he's been caught 3 times.
Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Now the only other division that has even 3 teams over 500 is the American League East. Boston, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays. Brewers are going to see the Indians and the Tigers on the road in interleague play next week. So it's going to be a run against the American League Central.
Indians have really got off to a slow start, 26-35. American League Central Division only has 1 team over 500. That's the Detroit Tigers. Twins 1 game under.
White Sox are 27-33. White Sox and Tigers battling rain today on the south side. Two balls, 2 strikes on Troy Tulowitzki. Coffey hoping for a ground ball double play here. And it's a line drive down the line. This could be trouble. Braun's got to hurry to run it down. Spielborgs has good speed, and he is going to try to score. Council's throw is late. Tulowitzki on his way to third, and he's out at third. The second out of the inning at third base, but the Rockies put another run on the board. It's 3-0 Colorado.
Well, Tulowitzki is hitting every mistake that the Brewers throw to him. A good throw by Counsell, and Kendall able to handle the throw and get the out at third base. Oh, he sinkered down and in. Didn't even think it was a strike. He rips it down the line. Ryan Braun had a little bit of a problem with it down in the corner. Able to get it in. He hit the cutoff man, and Kendall able to get Tulowitzki easily at third base.
So the bases are empty with 2 outs, but another run is in for Colorado. They've tacked one on in the 6th. The putout goes 7-6 to 2-5.
Oh, nice job by Jason Kendall. I mean, a short hop from Counsell. Able to handle it and get the out.
Well, the way the Brewers are swinging the bats right now, runs hard to come by. A 3-0 deficit feels pretty heavy right now.
Well, it's early yet. No time to panic. You know this team, when they break out, they're going to make somebody pay.
They will get their hits. This run of games now kind of feels like the start of the season for the Brewers. Had that 4-9 start. But we've been saying from the get-go, I mean, even as early as spring training webcast, that just the way this club is designed, it's going to be a streaky team.
Yeah. Most teams are. I mean, that's the way it's been so far this year. You just got to grind out when you're not swinging the bats. I mean, there's going to be times you're not hitting, not scoring runs. All the little things that you don't do are going to be under the microscope. You know, decisions made on the bench. You know, thrown to the wrong base, things like that. I mean, really, a lot more emphasis when you're not scoring. But they'll snap out of it.
Casey McGee on a big hop, and the side retired as Phillips is put out 4-3. Rockies add one, and it's 3-0 Colorado. The Rockies and the Brewers wrap up this series this afternoon. An error led to one run, the first run. Ian Stewart, a home run in the 4th inning. And it was 2-0 Colorado. Billy Hall had 2 on with 2 out. Cook struck him out. Aaron Cook so far today with 4 strikeouts. And then the Rockies just added to their lead. RBI double by Troy Tulowitzki, scoring Spilborghs all the way from first. Yeah, big crowd, and boy, near disaster in the sausage race today. Look out! Paul Phillips taking his life in his own hands, running in front of the Clements Racing sausages.
Yeah, can't do that. You can do a lot of things here at Miller Park, but do not disrupt the sausage race.
Could have been some kind of inside job, perhaps.
Yeah, the fix is in.
By the way, Jerry Crawford left this game feeling ill, is what we were told. So The crew chief of this 4-man umpiring crew is out, and it's a 3-man umpiring crew the rest of the way. Brewers trying to figure out Aaron Cook, who has been terrific today.
Yeah, 65 pitches into the 6th inning. That is his MO, though. He's not going to strike out too many batters. With that heavy sinker, he's going to get counts early in the count, particularly ground balls.
Cook went 8 innings against the Cardinals on Saturday, just 1 run allowed. Threw only 104 pitches in his 8 innings at Busch Stadium. A 4-game sweep of the Cardinals. And the Rockies on the doorstep of a 3-game sweep here in Milwaukee. We just wonder about this road trip. They started 0-3 in Houston, and then had the 2 top division leaders in the National League Central yet to go. But the Rockies have found it. They've dug it out of the dirt, as they say.
Yeah.
7 consecutive road wins for Colorado.
Well, it took them into mid-June. It's just a matter of whether they dug themselves too deep a hole. That pitch looked like it was down. Three-1 sinker. Almost in the dirt.
Counsell thought he had ball 4. Instead, it's 3-2. And Counsell strikes out. So a lead man out here in the 6th inning.
Pitch has got some kind of movement on it. Really does. Sinking fastball in on counts.
Here's Catalinato. Singled his last time up. Base runners have been hard to come by for the Brewers today. And even when they've gotten base runners, 2 double plays turned by the Rockies have wiped them out. They got a double play in the 1st and a double play in the 4th after Catalinato's single.
And it was just the opposite last night against Jorge De La Rosa. They had men on base just about every inning. A lot of opportunities to score, just couldn't play them.
The Brewers with only 5 hits on Tuesday night in a 3-2 loss, and only 5 hits last night in a 4-2 loss. So far, Cook has surrendered only 3 base hits. And Catalinato is rung up. Back-to-back strikeouts to start this 6th inning. And you can feel the frustration mounting.
Now, most of the time, a guy is going to go on that. Pretty close. Phil Cuzzy rings him up.
So 2 outs. Cook has 5 strikeouts now, including strikeouts of the last 3 hitters he's faced. Here's Braun with 2 away and Fielder on deck. Base hit. Ryan Braun has 2 hits today. And that'll get Fielder an at-bat in the 6th.
And that's the key to getting to Aaron Cook, not trying to pull the baseball, particularly if you're a left-handed hitter. That sinker's going to be going away from you. Try and pull it. There's going to be a lot of ground balls. There's a slider. One of the few that he's thrown, and Ryan able to handle it, bang it up the middle. Covers the outside corner as well as anybody.
You just don't see many guys go after a first pitch breaking ball, but Braun handles that pitch well and delivers with a hit. Now it's Prince.
Now some hitters are going to go up there not necessarily looking for pitch, but look for location. You look away. If you get something up, something that is a mistake, you're going to go after it, whether it's a slider or a fastball.
2-0 on Fielder. The tying run is on deck in Matt Gamble. Cook does not want to bring the tying run to the plate, but has to be careful against the Brewers' best home run hitter. And that catches the corner. Prince didn't agree. 2-1 the count on Fielder. That one's well hit down the left field line. Long run for Spilborghs, and that's fair. It bounces out of here. A ground rule double. Braun has to stop at third. Just inside the line, and another extra base hit for Fielder.
A tough break. That would have been a run. Ryan Braun would have been able to score easily had that ball stayed in play. But once again, you have to take Aaron Cook to the opposite field. Watch the pitch. Going away from Prince, who let the ball get in on him and slices it down the left field line. One hop into the seats.
And Prince knows if it stays in the ballpark, it's a run and an RBI. So Fielder with his third double in the last 2 games. And that does bring the tying run to the plate, and Matt Gamble. And a base open at first. Curveball strike from Cook to get ahead of him. The young Gamble in a big spot here in the 6th inning. Gamble homered in the first game of this series to straightaway center field.
Really pounded him inside in this series, haven't they? I mean, he struck him out looking on a fastball in.
That was back in the 5th inning. Gamble lined out in the 2nd, his first at bat against Cook. Big cut from Gamble. 1-2 the count. Take you back to Tuesday. Gamble to straightaway center on Jason Hamill. It was a mile high and a mile far. His first career Miller Park home run.
You'd see the location of it out away from. Maybe that's why they're pounding him inside.
Ball and 2 strikes. Coming back inside. And Gamble takes it in there. 2-2. You see a pitcher work on the inner half against power hitters. In this type of situation, you know you're dealing with somebody who has great command of the fastball.
And if he's going to miss with it, he's going to miss in off the plate, not leave it out over the plate. Most guys are just going to work away, try and sink that fastball down and away. But as we saw in the first game of this series, they threw him on the outer half and he hit it out of the ballpark.
See if the young Gamble can deliver here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And down he goes. Cook comes right back in there. 2 more runners left on base. Cook has done some of his best pitching in the last 2 innings. Sports Wisconsin is presented by Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Big crowd. The roof is closed on a Thursday afternoon at Miller Park. And it's 3-0 Colorado as we head to the 7th inning now. Well, the Brewers have had some chances here the last 2 innings. Had 2 on in the 5th. Cook struck out Bill Hall for the final out of the inning, and then 2 on in the 6th inning, and Cook gets Matt Gamble. The last 4 outs have been on strikeouts for Aaron Cook, who now has a season-high 7 punch-outs against Milwaukee. And Cook leads off this 7th inning. He is backing up a terrific start in St. Louis with another one here in Milwaukee. Cook's always had success against the Brew Crew. Did not face Milwaukee last year, but back in 2007 had a 6-inning game with just 2 runs. Hasn't won a game against the Brewers since the 2006 season, however. But a career earned run average of 3.5.
And he's got the kind of stuff that would bode well in just about any ballpark, including Colorado. Doesn't rely on that big looping curveball or something that is affected by the altitude in Colorado, but that heavy sinker. Those are the kind of guys that have success as a member of the Rockies. The big curveball guys have never really had a lot of success.
And Coffey walks Aaron Cook. Well, you can hit a grand slam with the 4 for $24 deal. State Fair is teaming up with Milwaukee Brewers, so you can pick a pair and go to the fair. This doubleheader includes 2 general admission tickets to the Wisconsin State Fair, 2 Terrace Reserve tickets to one of 3 remaining select Brewers games. And for ticket packages, call the Brewers box office 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com. State Fair. Teaming up with the State Fair as Coffey gives up a ringing single to Gonzalez. And this inning is not off to a very good start. A walk to the pitcher and a single to the leadoff hitter. 2 on, nobody out with the muscle of this order coming up.
And Todd Coffey gets in trouble when he gets his pitchers up in the strike zone. Watch the location right down the middle, about mid-thigh high, and Gonzalez, who struck out his last 2 times up, right back through the middle. That's how you have to handle these sinker ballers, particularly if you're a left-handed hitter. You do what Prince Fielder did. You take it to the opposite field, or you take it back through the middle like Gonzalez just did against Coffey. You try and pull them, you're really going to have a tough time. You're going to get a lot of 4-3 putouts. You can see the point of contact for Gonzalez right on the front edge of the plate, taking it right back through the middle. That's a nice swing.
Bill Castro a visit to the mound. Coffey scuffling a little bit here lately. He's given up some runs in his last few appearances. His 2nd inning of work. Ken Maka told us last week that managing in the National League, you take the losses a little more personal than you do the American League because of all the decisions and switches that can be made. Bullpen situation.
He felt as though he's got a lot more to say, a responsibility in getting to a game than in the American League with the DH. A lot tougher decisions to be made.
Barma squares to bunt, pulls it back.
Such as taking a starting pitcher out because you need offense. Those are the kind of decisions that you don't have to deal with in the American League. Less emphasis on your bullpen and how to manage your bullpen and your pitching staff. Just keep them out there until they can't get the job done anymore.
Right. Well, the other side of that is you feel a little more part of wins because of the changes that you've made. Talking from the managerial seat, and you bear the responsibility a little more. And he even admitted probably more than you should. You know, managers, they don't sleep well for about 8 months. Maka is a very systematic manager, and Brad Fisher, who's been with him for a long time, his third base coach, says that what's great about Maka is he won't change. Barmas drops a bunt down. It's going to be Gamble, and his only play is first base. Sacrifice bunt for Barmas. Rockies looking for the knockout punch here in the 7th inning.
It's surprising as hot as Barmas has been. They're asking him to drop down the bunt first and second, already up by 3 runs. Perfect bunt. Todd Coffey just trying to get out of the way, and Gamble able to get the out of first base.
So 1 away with runners at second and third. And that's going to do it for Coffey. Maka will make the change. Got Todd Helton coming up. That means Maka brings on the left-hander. Mitch Stetter will set him up in just a moment. First, let's check in with Telly Hughes.
Hey, guys, the Colorado Rockies will have a slew of lefties coming up. That's why Kid Maka is going with Mitch Stetter, and Mitch has been solid out the bullpen. In his last 7 appearances, he has not allowed a run, and that spans over 6 2/3 innings, and he has obviously emerged as the lefty specialist along with Carlos Villanueva. But another guy who we may or may not see today is Chris Smith, who made his Brewers debut yesterday, pitching 2 shutout innings. And Kid Maka said he liked the way that Chris Smith went about his business. He threw strikes. Yes, he did walk a couple of guys, but he said when you're facing guys like Helton and Hop, you can get caught up in the hype and the name on the back of the jersey. But he did like what he saw from him, but he's also have been loving what he's been seeing from Mitch Stetter.
Mitch Stetter, his numbers have been very good, and most people, want to concentrate on earned run averages. And as good as the earned run average has been for Mitch Stetter, the most important statistic for a reliever, particularly a guy that comes in the middle of an inning, is the inherited runner statistic. Mitch Stetter has come on with 28 runners aboard, and only 4 have scored. So that to me is the most important statistic for Mitch Stetter, and he's got his work cut out for him in this appearance, being his 30th so far this year. He's got to deal with the 2 hottest hitters for this ball club, Todd Helton and Brad Hop.
And 2 dangerous left-handed bats with runners at second and third. So another big spot in this game. The Brewers have been unable to get anything going offensively in this entire series. Aaron Cook is spinning a beauty for the Rockies on the mound, has a season-high 7 strikeouts. The Brewers have left 4 base runners in the last 2 innings. And Cook still with a shutout going. Helton and Hop both handle left-handers well. Helton's got a .338 batting average against left-handed pitching. But Stetter is a little bit unusual in his delivery. Stetter struck out Helton on Tuesday in a tough spot. Stetter's only given up 4 hits all year to left-handed batters. Lefties are batting an even 100 against him, 4 for 40.
Yeah, that strikeout of Helton by Stetter was part of a 3-strikeout night for Todd Helton, which is like Haley's Comet. You don't see that very often.
It's only the 2nd time all year he struck out 3 times in a game. Helton is 1 for 2, been on twice, had a single in the 1st, and he walked in the 5th. The Rockies have single tallies in the 2nd, 4th, and 6th innings, and they lead 3-0. Got him. Boy, Stetter gets a big out here as Todd Helton strikes out. 2 gone with the dangerous Hawk coming up.
Well, now only 4 of 29 inherited base runners. I should say, getting a very tough out with Todd Helton at the plate. Now he's got to deal with Brad Hop.
Hop is 0 for 3. Gamble made a nice play on him last time up. Hop has a career high 12-game hit streak going. And that breaking ball is in there.
And Stetter struck Hop out back on Tuesday.
Oh, and 2. Well, if Stetter can get Hop, maybe that'll be the momentum swing the Brewers need. Colorado is threatened big time in this game. They have 3 runs on the board, but they left the bases loaded in the second inning. At second and third in this frame with Helton and Hop coming up. The 0-2, and down he goes. Mitch Stetter strikes out Todd Helton and Brad Hop to end the inning. Well, we'll see if that gets him going offensively. Casey McGee leads off when we come back down 3.
News is Aaron Cook back out on the hill for Colorado. He is our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and he has pitched very, very well in this contest,
well,
David.
You know, Craig, he's been very efficient with his pitches, has gotten some double plays, but boy, he has just dominated our hitters. He's been working the ball in and out. A lot of good pitches inside and then going away with them, and he has had everybody off balance.
Bottom of the order coming up for the Brewers. And don't forget Cameron, Hart, and JJ still in that dugout. They can pinch hit if the Brewers can get this part of the order on base. And coming up on our post-game report, our instructional will be fielding the ball barehanded, plus a full game report from this afternoon's ball game. Brian?
All right, Craig, thanks. Looking forward to that following the game today. Aaron Cook working in his 7th inning. And his pitch count is still in great shape. It's only 85 pitches through 6+. McGee leads off. He'll be followed by Garrett and then Kendall. Well, what rallies the Brewers have put together have come with 2 outs. The Brewers had 2 on with 2 outs in the 5th. Same in the 6th. Could not score. It'll be interesting to see if Houston Street is available today. The Rockies closer has saves in 3 consecutive games. Would Jim Tracy send him out there for a 4th straight game? We know Manny Corpus is back in the fold here today. Street setup man who does have a save this year. Corpus had the night off last night after he pitched in 3 consecutive games.
Well, sometimes saves are so few and far between. You know what Houston Street answer would be. Yes, I want the baseball. Save opportunities sometimes come in bunches, and you can't really give away opportunities. Of course, sometimes it's, or most of the time, it's not the It's not the player's choice. Got to protect them sometimes.
All that being said, Trevor Hoffman's last appearance was on June 3rd, 8 days ago, when he picked up his 14th save. Hoffman did throw last night. He didn't pitch in the game, but he got up in the bullpen. He's had a lot of inactivity here lately.
And he and Marcus Hannell, after the ball game, once the stadium was empty, were out in right field. That's playing long toss.
All right.
There it is. They don't miss a trick, do they? This is after the ball game. Everybody's going home. Trevor Hoffman and Marcus Hannell just stretching it out.
And that's what you have to do as a closer to keep yourself game ready in a period of inactivity. Casey McGee comes up with another hit. Tell you what, every time you see this guy play, you like him more. 2 hits today. He doubled over the head of Hoffman right field his last time up, and just a beautiful piece of hitting here.
And sinker down the middle with 2 strikes protecting the plate. Just hitting it where it's pitched. A leadoff base runner for the Brewers, the first time since the 4th inning.
McGee, normally an outstanding defender as well. He does have an error today, but he's got a terrific glove. Ken Maka loves his approach at the plate.
And he's making it more difficult every game for Ken Maka not to pencil him in that lineup. You get a guy swinging a bat, particularly in stretches like this for the team. Got to keep him in there.
Jody Garrett with a base hit. And the Brewers will bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out here in the 7th. The bottom of the order delivering. McGee and Garrett to start this 7th inning with singles.
Well, pitch count at only 93 for Aaron Cook, so you would figure he's not tiring. Getting a couple of pitches up in the zone. Jody Garrett right back through the middle, didn't try and pull it. So opposite field base hit for Casey McGee and back through the middle for Jody Garrett.
Bob Apodaca, the Colorado pitching coach, talking it over with Cook. Matt Daly has been tough to handle in this series, the right-hander. Haven't seen Alan Embry pitch in this series yet.
June 24th is Guardian Credit Union Member Appreciation Night. All Guardian Credit Union members will have the opportunity to purchase up to 4 tickets in the club outfield at half price. For more details, visit a Guardian Credit Union location.
So the Brewers with 2 on to start an inning. Best scoring opportunity so far tonight. And it's Jason Kendall, who was hit by a pitch his last time up. Maka has already sent Corey Hart into the on-deck circle. The Brewers trying to do to the Rockies what the Rockies have done to the Brewers the last couple of nights, and that's come back and win.
Little snatch him back, you betcha. Plenty of time, 9 outs left.
Well, the concern here is a double play ball, especially with Aaron Cook, a ground ball specialist.
Yeah, first 2 pitches to Jason Kendall, sliders. Not your typical ground ball pitch.
There's a strike, 2-1.
Except for that infield base hit by Ryan Braun to third base, every one of the Brewers' hits today have come either up the middle or to the opposite field.
Which is the only way to have success against Aaron Cook, especially when he's right, and he's been right so far today. Season high 7 strikeouts. Kendall fouls one off his foot. So 2-2. Cook has come back. A key batter for Aaron Cook in this 7th inning. Well, the complexion of this inning changes if Kendall can reach. 2 on, nobody out. Back-to-back hits to start the frame from McGee and Garrett. Oh, Kendall fouls one away. That didn't sound like it got much bat.
No. Like kind of a half-hearted swing by Jason. That ball just kept boring in on him, up and in. Already has been hit once today. Lucky to get a piece of that.
Two and two to Kendall, and a pickoff play at second. Back is McGee. Rockies have been pretty good at that as well. They almost got Bill Hall last night.
Tulowitzki has been very active back there at shortstop. That's a good way to get a pitcher out of a jam, getting a free out on a pickoff.
Rockies set up for a double play. Kendall trying to do some damage here in the 7th. And he takes one away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, this is a spot here. Do you dare send the runners at 3 and 2?
They got decent speed on the bases, and Jason Kendall ordinarily is a guy that's going to put the bat on the ball. And with the way Aaron Cook racks up those double plays, might not be a bad time to do it.
Rally caps are on. See if the runners are on the move here. 3 and 2. They stay put. Kendall takes ball 4. Bases are loaded. The tying run is now aboard. Nobody out here in the 7th.
And double barrel action down in that bullpen for the Rockies.
Cook's afternoon is over. Jim Tracy makes a call to the bullpen. And it's going to be Daly. This guy has been very good in this series. 2 innings, no hits allowed for Matt Daly. And he's coming on in his 3rd consecutive game for Aaron Cook, who leaves after 6+. Pitching change here at Miller Park. Let's check in with Telly Hughes.
Hey guys, just like in the last pitching change, Rock mentioned guys that scored versus the guys that they have inherited. And Matt Daly has been sensational. He's inherited 4 runners so far this season, and he has yet to allow them to score. And he's retired 10 of the 12 batters he has faced. And getting into the Rockies bullpen may not necessarily be the best thing. Yes, during their 7-game winning streak, their starters have gone at least 6 innings, but this bullpen has been sensational on their current road trip. So we'll see if the Brewers can finally get to this bullpen, as Matt Daly will make his 3rd consecutive appearance in this series.
And a very similar style to that of Aaron Cook. What we've seen from Daly in the first 2 games of this series, a very good sinker. So he is a double play type pitcher. Ideal for this situation. That's why Jim Tracy is going with him. But anybody other than Aaron Cook has to look good to this Brewer offense. He was sensational today. The first walk of the game issued by Cook chased him, but really had good command both sides of the plate. He really worked Matt Gamble brilliantly all day long, really pounding him inside, mixing in the slider and the curveball. So he really had 3 good pitches working for him just about all day long.
Season high 7 strikeouts for Aaron Cook. He cannot lose this game, but leaves with bases loaded. And Matt Daly just activated from the disabled list on the 5th of June. It's interesting that he would be pitching in his 3rd consecutive day. Has 3 scoreless innings since being activated. He was on the DL with a left foot sprain. He was actually backing up a play, backing up a throw behind home plate. And he slipped on a bat that was back there in Pittsburgh.
That'll do it.
Sent him on the disabled list. Made a couple of rehab appearances in AAA before being placed on the active roster. Started the year in AAA. And it's going to be Corey Hart to hit against Daly in the 7th inning.
And this is where Ken Maka, has the benefit of having a lot of his starters sitting on that bench already. Use Billy Hall, Corey Hart. You still have J.J. Hardy, Mike Cameron, Mike Rivera, all right-handers on the bench. Maka really loading up that Brewer lineup with lefties.
Yeah, all of his left-handed hitters that are usually on the bench are in the starting lineup tonight. You would have preferred to have a left-hander hit in this spot against Daly, who has a wicked slider. But now you've got a former All-Star stepping in with the bases loaded. Tying run is at first. Nobody out. Yeah, big cut from Hart. He was right on it. Fouls it away, and Daly is ahead of him. Matt Daly is the Brewers' answer to Mark DeFelice, a strike thrower who has strikeout potential without the eye-popping stuff. He does it mostly with command and a great slider.
This may be his only hitter. Got a couple of left-handers coming up. Left-hander busy down in that bullpen.
Alan Embry continues to throw. Counsell and Catalanato scheduled to hit next for Milwaukee. Two balls and a strike. Hart into center field right at Gonzalez. This will get a run home. McGee scores on a sacrifice fly at an RBI. You can't even call it a sac fly. That's a sacrifice line drive.
Yeah, that's the way things have been going for the Brew Crew. I mean, he hit that one right on the nose, unfortunately right at the center fielder. Made a couple of steps toward the gap, but an easy catch. Fastball down the middle, foul ball. Then he got behind 2-1, did Daly. Tried to catch the outside corner with a couple of pitches. And then had to come in with the bases loaded. And Corey hit a rocket into center field.
Well, a bad break for the Brewers, but Hart does drive in a run in a pinch hit appearance. Boy, he squared that one up.
Yeah, right down the middle of the plate. Well, with 4 of the next 5 hitters left-handed. Jim Tracy going to the bullpen. This is the luxury that Ken Maka now has. He can go to J.J. Hardy whenever he wants. Mike Cameron to counter the left-handed hitter or pitcher.
It's going to be Alan Embry. This will be his first appearance of the series as Matt Daly is out after a third of an inning. One batter faced. So Telly, here comes Alan Embry, and some options here for Ken Maka if he chooses.
Yes, that's the great thing you guys mentioned, that Ken Maka does have a lot of right-handers on his bench. But Alan Embry, he comes in, he should be very fresh. He hasn't pitched since last Thursday where he pitched a scoreless 9th inning in Houston. And on the road, he's only allowed 1 run in 10 games, in his last 10 road games. So we'll see how Ken Maka decides to counter Jim Tracy's move by bringing in a lefty, because in other situations Ken Maka wouldn't have as many options as he does today. So we'll see how this chess match plays out.
Alan Embry being called on with 1 away. The Brewers still have the tying run on base. I was a little surprised to see Jody Garrett not at third base, but he had to freeze on the line drive, and then as the throw sailed into home plate, Garrett tried to get back to the bag and tag, but you certainly want to take the risk of getting thrown out at third.
I mean, not many center fielders are going to throw that ball into home plate. I mean, most guys are going to hit the cutoff man toward third base. So Jody Garrett, the last thing he wants to do is to get thrown out at third base, trying to advance. He's already in scoring position. He doesn't represent the tying run, so that would have been a fatal mistake to try and make it. In hindsight, it might have been a good move because the throw wasn't very good by Gonzalez. Kind of a lazy throw, a lot of air under it. He would have been able to make it easy, but you can't anticipate that.
39-year-old left-hander Alan Embry. And if you're thinking about the stats and part of the decision-making process for Ken Maka, left-handed batters against Embry this year, hitting at a .346 clip. 9 for 26 left-handed hitters are against Alan Embry this season. And it appears for now that Counsell and Catalanato will be left in there to face Embry.
Well, you got two of your best contact hitters coming up. I mean, Craig Counsell is a guy that throughout his career has been very good in spots like this. Catalanato, when he's going well, he can hit left-handers. So you might want to wait for a little bit further down in the batting order. Maybe when Jody Garrett comes up, if they still have a left-hander, you might want to use Hardy or Cameron then. At the top of your order, you've got contact hitters up, and that's what you need right now.
A runner's in for Milwaukee. Corey Hardy pinch hit, sacrifice fly at an RBI. It's 3-1 Colorado. Now with Catalanato in the on-deck circle, Craig Counsell will be left in there to face Alan Embry. Jody Garrett has terrific speed at second base. Kendall the runner at first. The Brewers had bases loaded, nobody out, before Hart's line drive out that produced the first run. Oh, 2 on Counsell. Embry's had a long career in the big leagues. 16 seasons in the major leagues. And been a part of some postseason baseball for many of those years. 7 different seasons he's been in the postseason. Has a ring as a member of the Boston Red Sox. He was on that 04 club. 0-2 to Counsell. Count remains at 0-2.
And for a left-hander, he throws pretty much right over the top. I mean, somewhat neutralizing the advantage that he may have against a left-handed batter. Kind of the anti-Mitch Stetter. Stetter with that low 3/4 delivery. Alan Embry right over the top. Not as tough for left-handed hitters.
Counsell in a battle here. He's down 0-2. Brewers waiting for their offense to arrive. Garrett should score on a base hit, although Gonzalez extremely shallow in center field.
A lot of room in that right center field gap.
Ready for the 0-2. 1-2. Counsell into right center, and Hawpe is there. Oh, another line drive out. Man, oh man, that is 2 tough breaks for the Brewers. Both balls tagged by Hart and Counsell. Now the Rockies are out away from getting out of this inning.
Yeah, there was a lot of room in that gap, but certainly he hit it right at Brad Hawpe. And Alan Embry throwing nothing but strikes. Got a slider up in the strike zone. Finally misses away with a slider right there. And then Craig Counsell able to get a pitch that he likes. It was a slider right down the middle up in the strike zone. Unfortunately, right at Brad Hawpe and right.
Well, Ken Maka is going to take a shot right here. Mike Cameron will be called on to pinch hit. Cameron second on the ball club in home runs, tied with Braun with 12 home runs this year. And Jim Tracy will counter this move. So Tracy will pull the lefty. And a pitching change again here at Miller Park. This feels more like the 9th inning than it does the 7th.
Yeah.
So Joel Peralta back in the game. Let's check in with Telly.
Well, this is Joel Peralta's second appearance in this series. He came in last night, but going back to Mike Cameron and him making sure that he is able and ready to hit in this game. He's taking some extra BP. I saw him emerge back into the dugout just moments ago after going back into the cage, but that's so much for the so-called off day for a lot of these guys, because J.J. Hardy, Mike Rivera, those two righties are still available if Ken Maka needs them, and I'm pretty sure if the situation calls upon it, he will go to those guys. But so far, Corey Hart off the bench, as well as Mike Cameron. So these guys who were supposed to get a mental day off, I mean, when they're needed, they're hopefully will rise to the call, guys.
Well, it's interesting. Jim Tracy is getting 4 different relievers up and ready in this inning. He's already used 3 of them. Daly, Embry, and now Peralta, who pitched pretty well in last night's ball game. He showed a pretty good changeup. He still has Randy Flores getting loose, so he's figuring that if he gets out of this inning, he's going to be able to finish it off with Manny Corpus and Houston Street. So I would imagine, the question that we asked earlier, is Houston Street available? I would imagine yes, or Jim Tracy wouldn't be using his bullpen like this.
Well, it was Peralta last night who pitched in a big turning point in the game, that 4-2 Colorado win. Peralta was struggling with his command last night, but managed to get through an inning. He struck out J.J. Hardy and then got Braun to ground out with 2 on last night. And Peralta being called on to get a big out here this afternoon. So Cameron comes on to hit. The Brewers still with runners at first and second. Now 2 men are out. 1 run is in. But the Brewers a bit unfortunate in this frame. 2 line drive outs. One of them led to a run. Corey Hart with a sac fly. But Hart and Counsell hitting it right on the nose and nothing to show for it.
Either one of them in the gap, and it's a tie game. But that's the way it goes. They weren't in the gap. They were right at the outfielders.
Cameron hopes to hit them where they ain't. Representing the go-ahead run, Mike Cameron. We saw Peralta struggle with his slider last night. But whether it was a split finger pitch or a backup slider, he managed to get a couple of key outs. Cameron coming off the bench. 2 gone with 2 on in the 7th inning. 2 balls, no strikes.
And in remembering, Peralta from last night didn't even come close to anywhere on the inside part of the plate. Everything away. Fastballs and sliders.
Ryan Braun is on deck. Cameron at a hitter's count. And that one's on the corner. Stays away from him. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cameron hasn't exactly seen eye to eye with home plate umpires here recently. Three balls and a strike. Oh, and now Cameron really in the driver's seat with the dangerous Braun waiting to hit next. Peralta almost has to challenge him here. Cameron hitless in this series. Pinch hitting in the 7th. And the 3-1. Fouled it away. Had a good pitch to handle.
Well, a mistake that time, right down the middle of the plate. Peralta doesn't have the velocity to be throwing pitches there, but he got away with that one.
Well, you know Cameron would love to have that one back. Right in his wheelhouse. Cameron homered over the weekend in Atlanta on Sunday. A long ball here. The Brewers take the lead. Full count, 2 outs. The runners will be in motion. Tying run at first. And there they go. And Cameron pulls one foul. Hangs in there.
Yeah, that's the pitch that Peralta used in situations like this last night. The slider. Well, the slider 3-2. It wasn't a strike, but Cameron wasn't going to take any chances. Protecting with 2 strikes.
Peralta, the 4th pitcher used in this inning. Aaron Cook, the starter, gave up back-to-back hits. Then Matt Daly for a batter. Alan Embry, and now Peralta. Again with a 3-2. The runners will get the head start. Cameron right off the end of the bat. That'll squirt foul. Well, as much as you tell yourself to stay back, let the ball get in there on you, and drive it the other way, it's slower and slower with this breaking stuff of Peralta.
Yeah, that slider only 80 miles an hour. It was a backup slider. Didn't do a whole lot. Acted more like a changeup. I don't know if he does that on purpose or not, but we've seen that on a number of occasions the last 2 nights. That's a changeup, partner. Changeup or a splitter, one of the 2.
That's the pitch that struck out Hardy last night in a similar spot. All right, we do it over again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There go the runners. Cameron takes ball 4. Bases loaded. Tying run in scoring position. Here comes Braun. A rematch from last night. Peralta got Braun to ground out in the 7th inning, representing the go-ahead run last night. A base hit should tie it. Outfield backs up. They play deep with Braun at the plate. Journeyman right-hander against one of the best young hitters in the game. And a breaking ball strike. Spins one in. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. Ryan Braun with 2 hits. 2 for 3 today. Looking for a big hit here in the 7th. One and one.
Still a lot of room out in that right center field gap. You got Gonzalez shaded around toward left center. Peralta uses the outside corner almost exclusively, and that plays right into the hands of Ryan Braun.
Loves to get his arms extended. Bases loaded. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. 2 outs in the 7th. And Braun takes one high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ryan's had a good series. On base 3 times yesterday. Doubled in a run. Had a double in the opener as well. 4 hits in the series. What a grinder this inning is. 4 pitchers used by the Rockies. Two balls and a strike on Braun. And Ryan chased. Well, less is more is the theory for Peralta. 79-mile-an-hour pitch.
Well, down and away. You can see Ryan pulling his shoulder out and trying to pull it.
Now Peralta has him 2-2. And Braun strikes out. A fastball from Peralta. The Brewers strand. The base is loaded. Bases loaded, nobody out. They get 1 run out of it. And the Rockies stay hot. .com. You can vote up to 25 times per email account. 3-1 the Brewers trailing the Rockies. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin texts the broadcast booth. How are the pitchers selected to the All-Star game? Moon in Kenosha wants to know. Pitchers are selected by the managers. National Leagues will be selected by Charlie Manuel. Carlos Villanueva is on to pitch. Brewers let a big opportunity go by in the 7th. Stranding the bases loaded. They did get a run, however. It's a 2-run game, and Villanueva hoping to keep it that way.
Well, Villanueva in game number 28, equally as effective against left-handed batters as right-handed batters, as Corey Hart takes over in right field for Frank Catalanato.
Well, you got to tip your hat to Joel Peralta the last 2 days. He has been right in the middle of the fire, and he's gotten some big outs against some of the best Brewer hitters. That's the 2nd consecutive day he's retired Braun late in a game with the Brewers threatening to take the lead.
And an upper 80s fastball right down the middle. I think Ronnie got caught looking breaking pitch, looking slider. And you can see him, he's talking to himself. Doesn't mean you're crazy.
No,
right?
It just means you're a baseball player.
There's a lot of that going on.
into left center. That's going to get down a base hit. Garrett cuts it off. Spilborghs with his second hit of the game. He's been on base 3 times. And a leadoff single for the Rockies. Final line on Aaron Cook, by the way. The Rockies starter goes 6+ tonight, or today, and gives up 1 run. 7 hits allowed. He struck out 7, a season high. And the only walk he gave up is the walk that chased him from the game. Rockies are getting results from everybody on their roster. Even Spilborghs, who hasn't started until today, coming up with 2 hits today and a walk, and he scored a run.
And the backup catcher, Phillips, although he hasn't really done much offensively, he's done a nice job calling a game tonight. You got me doing it now today.
Gallardo started for the Brewers, went 5, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. Gallardo on the hook for the loss in this one.
Yeah, starting to get some shadows. That bodes well for any post-game activities you might have planned. Sun's coming out.
First sight of the sun today. Expecting a great weekend for weather here in Milwaukee. You don't like having the roof closed on June 11th, but hey, you know, it's a little cool out still.
When you can have a perfect environment, why not use it?
It's a good bunt. Gamel's throw is wild. Spilborghs around third, and he'll stop there. Now Stewart dropped down a perfect bunt. It's going to be a hit and an error to advance the runners. Infield hit for Stewart, and a throwing error by Gamel now has the Rockies with runners at second and third.
Yeah, who would have thought, as well as this guy's been swinging a bat, dropping down a bunt of all things. A perfectly placed bunt down the third baseline. And Matt Gamel probably should have held on to that. No chance to get Stewart at first base. Threw it anyway, and nowhere near first base.
Villanueva will walk to Lewitsky. Setting up a bases loaded scenario with nobody out. Boy, the Rockies trying to hand quite a counter punch back to the Brewers. And it certainly would be if they score here. Milwaukee sitting there with bases loaded, nobody out. Trying to make a big rally and come back. They get 1 run. And back come the Rockies immediately against Villanueva. Paul Phillips, the Rockies catcher. Brewers bring their infield in.
The way things are going, you can't afford to fall behind by any more. So you're taking a big risk with nobody out. A flare over the infield, and you're really open for a huge inning for the Rockies.
And a line drive, foul, just got out in front of it. And that would have done some damage. Phillips getting a little playing time here lately. Jorvi Torrealba going through some serious personal issues. His son was kidnapped, and glad to report that his son is back, and they managed to get all the family members back. So Torrealba has been given the opportunity to come back as he sees fit, and he'll actually be given the option of going to the minor leagues and playing some rehab games if he wants. But that was a scary situation down in Venezuela with Yorvi Torrealba and some members of his family, including his son.
You talk about a heart-wrenching situation, huh? Wow. Doesn't get much worse than that.
In the meantime, Paul Phillips backing up Iannetta for the time being, and Iannetta just got back from the disabled list. White Sox are in here tomorrow, first of a 3-game series. A couple of lefties going for Chicago. And we'll see how Ken Maka sets up his lineup over the weekend with the White Sox. Got Clayton Richard tomorrow, and then Mark Burley pitching on Sunday. The Brewers will have Suppan, Parra, and Looper. The weekend set with Chicago. Clayton Richard tomorrow. Jose Contreras starts for Chicago on Saturday, and then Mark Burley Sunday. And then the Brewers hit the road. Interleague play continues on the road. Cleveland and then Detroit. 6-game road trip in all over 7 days.
They have the bottom and the top of that division.
Miller Lite, what's on tap? 6:30 is airtime for Brewers Live tomorrow night. Fox has the national game on Saturday, and then back on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday, 12:30 for Brewers Live. We'll sit down with Del Swain tomorrow for Brewers Live. You always want to go to the hitting coach when you're not swinging the bats, right? They love to see you coming.
It's their fault when they're not swinging the bats, but the players get all the credit when they're scoring a lot of runs.
Well, Del Swain has a simple approach, and is the same guy regardless. We'll sit down with the hitting coach tomorrow. Ground ball, base hit. Through the drawn in infield. This is going to score a couple of runs. Garrett Stowe comes into third base, and they get it out at third. Tulowitzki thrown out at third base for the second time in this game, but Paul Phillips drives in 2, and the Rockies lead 5-1.
Yeah, that's the danger when you bring the infield in with the bases loaded and nobody out. If that infield was back, that would have been a double play. Of course, by turning the double play, you give up another run. And runs are certainly been very tough to come by for the Brewer offense. Good piece of hitting by Phillips went after his slider off the plate. And because the infield's in, didn't take much to sneak it through.
That's a pretty good contrast, isn't it? You look at those balls that Hart and Counsell hit in the 7th. Outs to show for it. Phillips on a grounder up the middle drives in 2, and the Rockies have taken back the momentum here. 5-1 Colorado on their 9th hit. Seth Smith pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. Driven to right. Hart is there for out number 2. Ken Maka and the crew in danger of being swept by the Rockies unless they can come up with some offense. Still time, got 6 outs to work with, but that hill just got a little steeper. Deficit now at 4. Fielder will lead off next inning and be followed by Gamble, then McGee. Kendall wears another one.
He's had his mask knocked off by the bat. Got a foul tip. Got hit by a pitch, and he pounded one off his foot when he was at the plate. A typical day. Life of a catcher. Kind of a nightly occurrence. You block a ball, and for your trouble, you get your mask knocked off. Hit by a pitch, a ball off his foot. able to stay alive. Ended up walking, but just another day at the office. No big deal.
I was talking to Kendall about the mixed martial arts the other day. You know, he loves that mixed martial arts. He actually does a little sparring every offseason in the mixed martial arts. And I don't know if he's joking or not, but he said when his playing days are over, it might be something he'd like to try.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess what he went through today, not a big deal.
It's just preparing him. Gonzalez pops up. Council makes a call. And the inning is over, but the Rockies score 2 big runs. 5-1 Colorado. Aaron Cook, as advertised here today, 6 innings, just 1 run allowed, a season high 7 strikeouts for the Rockies ace. Ian Stewart hit a home run in the 4th, made it 2-0. Stewart's 12th of the season, has 2 hits today. Corey Hart, a sacrifice fly in the 7th, driving in the lone Brewers run. And a bit of a bad break. The Brewers had the bases loaded, nobody out, managed just 1 run. And it's 5-1. Colorado tacked 2 on in the top of this frame. With Prince Fielder to lead off and a new Rocky hurler is Manny Corpus. Our text to vote question is wrapping up. Polls are closed. Todd Helton, first ballot Hall of Famer. 58% say no.
Well, right now anyway. I mean, if he continues to be able to play like he anticipates, you never know.
35 years of age. See how long he's able to keep at it.
Well, you would think if he retired today, he'd be 50-50 whether he would get into the Hall of Fame. You think?
I think he's got a great chance. The only thing that might sway voters, the writers who vote for the Hall of Fame, the fact that he had so many years in Colorado pre-Humidor with the big offensive numbers. My beef on that is you only can put up the numbers you put up based on where you play.
Well, plus the fact that he was equally good on the road.
Fielder with a base hit. Good start for the Brewers in the 8th.
It's not like, you know, some of those guys back in the early days of Coors Field, I mean, had humongous numbers at home, but on the road they really didn't do a whole lot.
Right.
That wasn't the case with Todd Helton. He was good no matter where he was.
Well, Matt Gamble, Powerball home run number 2 of his big league career on Friday night. 0 for 3 today, however. A couple of strikeouts his last 2 times up. What's interesting about the talk about the ballpark is you look at the numbers the Phillies put up year after year, and you don't hear much talk about that, you know, about the ballpark leading to the runs. I mean, the Phillies, let's face it, they're going to have an MVP candidate pretty much every year because of the numbers that are able to be put up in that park. Not to say they don't have great hitters, because they do, but huge numbers. Look at the numbers for Raul Ibanez this season after spending the last few seasons in Seattle.
Yeah.
And Miller Park is a good hitter's ballpark as well. I think all that should come into play. Gamble with a base hit. Well, just like last inning, the Brewers have 2 on to start an inning. And how big are those 2 runs the Rockies just put on Milwaukee in the 8th looking?
And a nice approach by Matt Gamble, finally getting a pitch away from him. Remember how Aaron Cook was crowding him with the fastball. Manny Corpus throws one on the outer half and he bangs it into left field.
And maybe that's what Bob Apodaca is discussing with his pitcher right now. Rockies have had a lot of success with Gamble inside.
I think most hitters are vulnerable inside. The problem is not many pitchers are effective in there. Not the way Aaron Cook was today.
That'll probably be the biggest adjustment Gamble has to make from AAA to the big leagues. And you figure he will make that adjustment. I mean, let's face it, even Braun and Fielder struggle with good command fastballs inside. So here's McGee. 2 on. Nobody out. The Brewers down 4. Tying run in the on-deck circle. Brewers bat starting to wake up a little bit. 9 hits today, but only 1 run to show for it. McGee has 2 of those 9 hits. Jody Garrett would be next. And McGee trying to get him to the plate, representing the tying run. Well, this inning trending the right way so far. Corpus, who relies on a wicked slider, is having trouble commanding that slider. Two and 1. A bouncer to short. Tulowitzki to second. Barmas the turn. Just what the Rockies needed. A double play. 6-4-3 double play.
The third double play the Brewers have bounced into tonight or today. Got to open that roof, and we know it's daytime. Tailor-made room service, whatever you want to call it, as easy as it gets. A 2-hopper to Tulowitzki. And an easy double play, the third of the day.
So Corpus facing Garrett with 2 outs. Fielder over at third base. Garrett with a base hit his last time up. 1 for 3. Got the start this afternoon for Mike Cameron. Maka has used Hall, Hart, and Cameron off the bench so far today. Oh, and 2. Colorado is headed home after an 11-game road trip. A road trip where they have won 7 straight. And have evened their road record to 18-18 on the year. Back up the middle. Corpus makes a nice stab, and the inning is over. T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
Hey, be sure to join us after the game for Brewers Live, sponsored by Lincoln Mercury. It's going to include an on-field instructional. This is going to be an on-field instructional. It's going to be hosted by none other than Davey Nelson, because I have a tough time bending down. We're going to be talking about making a bare hand play. We saw a couple by Matt Gamble today, one that he did a nice job on, and another that he didn't do such a nice job on. So fielding a bare hand ground ball down at third base.
You can do the bending down. It's the bending back up that is the problem.
It's a getting up. It's kind of like that Sacrilili acting up.
All right, Chris Smith pitching in consecutive games, made his Brewers debut yesterday. 5-1 Colorado. It has been some kind of frustrating for Brewers fans in this series. The Rockies have kept the pedal down against Milwaukee. They swept the Cardinals in 4 games and are 3 outs away from a sweep at the hands of the Brewers in Milwaukee. You go to St. Louis and Milwaukee, you're not expecting 7 wins.
All right. Particularly with both clubs playing very well at home. But that's why they play the game on the field and not on paper.
Maka took his shot in the 7th. And Jim Tracy countered. Tracy used 4 pitchers in the 7th inning.
Well, not much more Ken Maka could have done in that 7th inning. I mean, he had everything in place the way he wanted to. He pushed all the right buttons. It's just that wasn't able to get the job done. I mean, it comes down to the players getting it done, and that goes for when things are going well and when things aren't going so well. Now you load your lineup up with left-handers. You have your thumpers, your right-handed thumpers on the bench. You use them at a particular time in the ball game that you think is going to be a difference, and he did that.
We'll see how effective Smith can be this afternoon, pitching in consecutive games. Went 2 innings last night. And his first action as a Brewer. He pitched with Boston last year, briefly in the big leagues, up and down between AAA and the major leagues. Was the closer for Nashville, Don Money's Nashville Sounds earlier this season. Chris Smith. Into left. And an easy play for Braun. Kind of lost it a little bit. Manages to secure the out. A little juggling act by Braun. Remember, we showed you the sun shining in from the panels above the first base grandstand. And that is exactly where Ryan Braun is looking in for that baseball. That's what he sees.
Man, you just got to keep looking out there. Sooner or later, you hope that the ball is going to come out of that sun, able to bobble it, and that big basket, able to haul it in. Not much you can do. You're all alone out there trying to grab that baseball. Nobody there to help you.
Helton has a hit today. Been on twice. Steady as he goes. Todd Helton. Just a guy who shows up ready to play every day. Now that he's healthy, Rockies can certainly count on Helton and Hawk in the middle of their order on a daily basis. They've gotten hot because those around Helton and Hop have gotten hot. Two dangerous hitters.
Yeah, we talked about the splits home and road for Todd Helton. For his career before this year, at home a 362 hitter, away a 294 hitter. 190 home runs at home, 120 away. Batting average a big difference, but everything else pretty close. RBIs, 674 at home, 442 on the road. And I think you could say that about just about every hitter. I mean, those home run and RBI totals really not that much different than what you would expect from a lot of players that play home and road.
Always more comfortable at home.
You bet.
Helton walks. And that'll send Haupt to the plate with a man aboard. Cardinals won today. They came back and beat the Marlins. A late rally for St. Louis. 3 runs in the 8th inning to win at 6-5. Pujols hit his 19th home run of the year. Cardinals lost 5 in a row last week. They dropped 4 in a row to the Rockies, and then they lost the first game of that series with the Marlins. But they win the final 2 games. And unless the Brewers come back, it's going to be a half a game that separates the Brewers from the Cardinals in the division play.
And that's not the troubling aspect of the whole thing. I mean, you'd like to be able to get yourself a nice lead in first place, but you're talking about mid-June. I think the Brewers need to iron out this offensive issue more than worry about only having a half-game lead in this division.
Yeah, that's for us to worry about.
Yeah. Got to get these guys swinging the bats again. I mean, the pitching has not been all that bad on this homestand so far. I mean, when you talk about the runs, particularly the runs that the Rockies scored against the Cardinals, it hasn't been an offensive explosion for Colorado in this series. It's been terrific pitching.
Back-to-back walk given up by Smith. And Del Castro's on his way to the mound. Boy, what a grinder of a game this is.
Yeah, back-to-back nights.
Last night, 3 hours, 26 minutes, and a 4-2 game. You got to tip your hat, though, to the Rockies because they have had a very good approach at the plate. Dave Bush talked about it last night. We saw it with Gallardo today, who walked 4. Rockies have been patient. Long at-bats. They've taken their walks. Jim Tracy's got this club going in the right direction. Dexter Fowler's going to pinch run for Brad Haupt. So 2 on with 1 out. And it's Spilborgh's at the plate, who has 2 hits and a walk tonight. What else is going on in the National League? Let's see. The Pirates beat the Braves. Atlanta, talk about a team having a tough time scoring runs. 3-1 Pittsburgh wins. It was a stretch there for the Braves. They went 22 consecutive scoreless innings offensively. And included back-to-back shutouts at the hands of the Brewers. Cubs and the Astros are still in extra innings. The top of the 11th. Tied at 1. Cubs started the day 2.5 back in the Central, but starting to play a little bit better. Cubs have played a ton of extra inning games lately.
Yes, they have.
Diamondbacks out in front of the Giants, 1-0. San Francisco has been a nice story this year.
Yeah, the Brewers have only played 2 extra innings games this year. That's the fewest in the National League. The Cubs 7.
Is that right? 7.
And a lot of those lately.
So their 8th extra inning game today.
Washington Nationals are 0-8 in extra innings.
Man, oh man.
That's a hang with them.
Yeah. The Reds won last night in Washington in extra innings. Cincinnati leads Washington 1-0 in the 3rd inning. Underway in D.C. It's going to be interesting to watch the Steven Strasburg saga play out. Nationals made Strasburg the #1 pick. He is represented by Scott Boras. How much money do you have in Washington?
Yeah. Particularly with all the talk about him going right to the major leagues.
Man. Well, he's almost assuredly going to get a major league contract. Which kind of changes the pace for a pitcher once you have a contract like that. If you sign a major league contract where you get a bonus and it doesn't include a split contract, meaning different money for major league and minor league, you see clubs advance mostly pitchers right through the system. We saw that with Samardzija and the Cubs. And that's dangerous. You know, organizations would like to be able to take their time and make sure the player's ready.
Right.
Samardzija has been up and down a few times already, and yes, he has a great arm, but you're always battling that confidence versus success at the major league level. I mean, that's a situation that Ken Maka and Willie Randolph are dealing with Matt Gamble right now.
Man, you got to trust baseball people in determining when a guy's going to be ready. I mean, they're much better at determining, you know, the development of a player far better than an agent. It's nice to have a guy go into the big leagues quickly, but a lot of times it doesn't help him, whether you're a pitcher or a position player.
Two on for the Rockies. Smith trying to wrestle his way through this 9th inning. Ian Stewart has been on base 3 times in this game. He scored 3 of the 5 Colorado runs. 2 hits and a walk. Had a home run back in the 4th. Rockies have had a very busy bottom of the order here today, starting with the 5th hitter on down. I got hitters 5 through 9, Rock, on base 14 times in this game.
Yeah.
That includes Aaron Cook, the pitcher, who reached twice. The pitcher at the plate.
All those base runners, they've left 8 men on so far. They only have 5 runs. Rockies have not, in this series, done a very good job with runners in scoring position. But they're 3 outs away from a sweep.
2-2 the count. Broken bat. Fielders got it for the out. The inning is over, and the Rockies cannot score. Last licks for the Brewers. They're down 4 as we head to the 9th. Down 5-1 to the Rockies. A crowd of over 35,000 on a Thursday afternoon. Randy Flores is on to pitch. And he will face Jason Kendall, Corey Hart, then back to the top of the order and Craig Counsell. Longtime Cardinal Randy Flores now pitching in Colorado. Been pitching well this season.
Yes, he has. Being one of two left-handers out in that bullpen. Randy Flores, one of those guys up in that bullpen for Jim Tracy in that 7th inning. Got 4 relievers loose. Used 4 pitchers overall, including Aaron Cook, the starter. Dexter Fowler stays in the ball game in center field. Gonzalez moves to right.
Well, see if the Brewers can put something together here in the 9th inning. They're trailing by 4 runs. They've been knocking on the door the last 3 innings. The Brewers have left 7 men on base. Actually 8 left on in the last 4 innings. Kendall's been on twice. He was hit by a pitch and he walked. Long run for Fowler. Pretty well hit by Kendall, but it's an out. And 1 away. Two key at-bats in this game. Matt Gamble was up with 2 on in the 6th. Cook struck him out. And then Peralta struck out Braun with the bases loaded in the 7th.
Good tying run at second base. A base hit away from tying it up. Next half inning, Rockies scored 2.
Corey Hart's second at bat. He drove in the only Brewers run with a sacrifice fly in the 7th. That was a big play as well. It was a line drive. If it finds a gap, it would have emptied the bases. Instead, it was a line drive out. And the Brewers did score on the sac fly. Houston Street, just in case it gets into a save situation. I saw where the Rangers signed Orlando Hernandez today. El Duque is back. He signed a minor league deal with Texas.
Back in baseball.
Rangers also picked up Jason Grilli. So guy was let go. Colorado picked up by the Rangers.
Although the Rangers are in first place, they continue to have pitching problems. They're scoring an awful lot of runs. Well, buddy Mike Maddox has had his work cut out for him this year.
3.5 game lead on the Angels in the American League West. Boy, they have some kind of offense in Texas. Hart bangs out a base hit. Well, 2 real good at bats for Corey Hart. Maybe that'll be a sign of things to come.
And what you like is both of them coming up the middle. The line drive to center field to score the run. And now the base hit back to the middle. Letting the ball travel and putting a nice quick swing on it for the base hit.
Top of the order now, Craig Counsell. The Brewers need 2 more base runners to bring the tying run to the plate. 3-1 the count on Council. Trying to reach base, keep it going here. And that one's in there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Council is hitless today. Reached on an error way back in the first. And lined out his last time up. 0 for 4. You know, we were talking about the Brad Lidge situation yesterday. You know, he's on the disabled list with a knee injury in Philadelphia. He said he may have injured his knee in the pileup after the World Series.
Really?
That's when he first felt something pop. Council takes ball 4.
Well, now it's a save situation if they elect to bring Houston Street in. If the tying run is on deck when you come into the ball game, it is a save. Let's see what Jim Tracy decides to do. Houston Street has appeared in 3 straight games.
And 3 consecutive saves. One against the Cardinals in the final game of that series, and then back-to-back saves here. So Tracy's going to make the call. Well, if nothing else, the Brewers have forced the Rockies to bring on their closer here, not going without a fight. Mike Rivera is going to pinch hit. And here comes Houston Street. Let's check in with Telly Hughes.
Hey guys, as you said, we'll see Houston Street for the 3rd straight time, and he's been pretty good against the Brewers so far in this series. He hasn't allowed a run, and we'll see if he can close out this game for the Rockies. But Mike Rivera, is good to see him getting some at-bats because, I mean, he's a guy that plays every 5th day, and he's been swinging the bat well, but he just haven't had a lot of opportunities. So we'll see if Mike Rivera can capitalize on some more opportunities to get some at-bats against Houston Street, who has been pretty much lights out so far this series.
All right, Telly, thanks a lot. Rivera will get his chance. The Brewers need one more base runner before they bring the tying run to the plate, and that tying run could be Ryan Braun if Rivera reaches. So Houston Street, former Rookie of the Year, has been rejuvenated in Colorado, and another guy who's finally healthy, Rock, and feeling no effects of some back injuries that have had him down the last few seasons.
And talking about Mike Rivera getting some opportunities, a couple of starts ago it was Josh Johnson that he had the fortunate opportunity to face. He had one of his best games. Now he gets a pinch hitting appearance against Houston Street, who's, you know, one of the hotter closers in the National League. So a hang with him from Mike Rivera. But it's better to get up there than sit on the bench. You're right.
The numbers for Street this year, he's only blown 1 save. And is quickly pushing his way among league leaders in saves right now with 11. He's had 3 good days. He struck out the side yesterday against Milwaukee. Got Catalanato, Gamble, and McGee to win the ball game. I mean, he never let the Brewers off the deck whatsoever yesterday.
And I was talking to Rivera after that start against Josh Johnson. He said something to the effect that it'd be nice to be able to make a start against a guy that doesn't throw 96 miles an hour.
But you wouldn't dare go to a manager with that. You start selecting your starts.
And that's the life of a backup catcher. It really is.
That's like when guys started to, feel flu-like symptoms whenever they'd face Randy Johnson.
Yeah. Day game after a night game. You get a guy like Randy Johnson, you get Charlie Huff, somebody like that.
So Houston Street, who came to the Rockies in an offseason trade that sent Matt Holliday to Oakland. He had Carlos Gonzalez involved in that deal. Street had the closer's role to start the year, then lost it briefly. Corpus took over. Corpus struggled. Now Street has it back. Rivera pinch hitting. Tying run in the on-deck circle. Those 2 runs the Rockies scored in the 8th inning. Looming large right now. How effective can Street be pitching in his 4th consecutive game?
Well, the one advantage that he has, his best pitch is a changeup. So a guy that doesn't rely on big velocity, he might be able to get away with maybe throwing him 4 days in a row on occasion.
On the corner, 1-1 to Rivera. Street in the same situation, 2 on, 1 man out. Rockies lead by 4. That one missed. 2 balls and a strike on Rivera.
Yeah, good eye by Rivera. Hey, take your chances, figure out any way for Rivera to get on base, and then you have Ryan Braun, Prince fielder, to try and tie it up.
Three balls and a strike. And the Brewers perhaps a pitch away from bringing Braun back to the plate, representing the tying run. Get those rally caps on.
And maybe take one here. Last thing in one is a double play.
Rivera fouls it away. It might have chased ball 4.
That ball down. Looked like it was down.
Three and 2 to Rivera. Getting a pinch hit appearance here in the 9th inning. Got him. And the runners take off. Rivera strikes out. Second out of the inning. Second and third for Milwaukee for Ryan Braun.
Well, Houston Street saved the best to last. Right on the outside corner. Little movement going away from Rivera and gets the strikeout.
So Braun with another chance. 2 hits here today. But the key at bat in the game when he struck out with the bases loaded. Braun more often than not comes up big in spots like that. Not this time. Last call for the Brewers here, down to their final out. If Braun can reach, Fielder steps up as the tying run. And you'd love to give him that chance. 0-2. The Brewers have 10 hits in this game, but only 1 run. Nine runners left on. Down to their last strike. Street making a bid at his 12th save. and his third in this series. I remember Cordero pitched in 6 consecutive games back in 07. 1-2. Well, a base hit should score a pair for Braun. And an RBI situation in front of him. Those shadows now starting to become a factor as they creep out closer to the mound.
Yeah, Rocky's really not worried about the men on base. It's the guy on deck that they're concerned about.
Braun into left field. That one's well hit. Back to Spilborghs. She's gone. Ryan Braun reaches out and delivers a 3-run shot, and the Brewers are right back in it. How about that? With 2 strikes and 2 outs, Braun delivers big time.
And not a bad pitch by Houston Street. Fastball down. Looked like a cutter. It was down, but it got too much of the plate. Nice short stroke by Braun. He just jumped off his bat. And out of here into that Brewer bullpen. So yes, indeed, the tying run does come to the plate. And it's Prince Fielder.
What a piece of hitting by Braun. Now Fielder steps in. And again, the Brewers knocking at the door. Braun's 13th home run of the year, his 3rd hit of the game.
Well, now a bloop and a blast.
In there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Fielder.
You Prince on and have Gamble knock one out of here. Why not? Let's get greedy here.
Might as well. Gamble waiting to hit next. Fielder takes a ball. 2-1 the count. And you know Gamble would love another shot at it. Been a frustrating afternoon at the plate for him as well. How many guys can hit that pitch out of the ballpark in left field?
Not many. Ryan with that big long bat, able to go down, and ball just jumped on. He hit the sweet spot perfectly. Almost like a super ball. That ball got out of here quickly.
So again, the Brewers down to their last strike. 2-2 to Fielder. Phillips sets up away. The 2-2, and it just missed. Whoa. Close pitch. 3-2 the count.
Now, Prince has had a good eye all season long, but that one, not sure where it missed.
The moment of truth here. 3-2 to Fielder. And he takes ball 4. And the tying run is on. The winning run strides to the plate. And with every pitch Houston Street throws, the odds go against him. Remember, this is his 4th consecutive game.
And remember that 3-1 pitch that Mike Rivera fouled off that looked to be ball 4. Could very well have a tie game. But Prince Fielder represents the tying run, and Matt Gamble knocks one out of here, give the Brewers a nice comfort behind victory.
And in case the Brewers tie it, Trevor Hoffman getting ready. He would pitch the 10th. Although Street has worked in the last 4 games, you see the 7-pitch save in St. Louis. Very efficient on Tuesday in the opener here in Milwaukee. And had 3 strikeouts yesterday in 17 pitches.
And it's not just the number of pitches, the fact that he gets up and gets out there and gets ready 3 consecutive, now 4 consecutive days. That's a lot of wear and tear on that arm.
2 outs. Here's Gamble. The winning run at the plate. And Gamble takes a ball. Gamble with 8 home runs down in AAA before his promotion. Has plenty of power.
It's going to be very difficult for Prince to score on a ball that stays in the ballpark. Colorado outfield very, very deep.
Took a little off, and Gamble out in front.
See how deep they are in the outfield, cutting off those gaps.
Gamble with 2 big league home runs. His second was against the Rockies on Tuesday. And it's 1-2 to Gamble. So for the 3rd straight hitter, the Brewers are down to their last strike. Milwaukee's now out hit Colorado 11-9. 3 runs are in. 5-4 Colorado. Setting up away, the pitch. Gamble strikes out, a big cut. And the Rockies win it. They sweep the Brewers. And Colorado has now won 8 consecutive road games. The Brewers put up a